Vodfathers answers so many questions you guys might have, like, where has Sideshow been? Not on Plat Chat, not on stream. He was actually in Turkey getting his hair done. Look at this fabulous TMV. Thoughts on the hairdo?
It's a wonderful look for him. I think he's finally fixed, one of his biggest problems in life. And it's unfortunate, I think, for the whole scene, because now, who's going to sing Baldy Baldy over there to him?
Wait, this was the timeline where 100 Thieves did something and actually made play, just the overall London, they had a good year. They didn't deceive us. Can we go back to regular timeline? I need the baldness back. I feel like there's too much here.
That's not the.
This is the EG timeline. Wait, can I see the C9 timeline? Can we see the C9 timeline really quick? That's the C9 timeline. That's a dark timeline. That's never happening.
Wait,
let's get back to the G2 NRG.
I like that timeline. Take me back. Take me back.
There's one thing I also want to talk about really quickly. It's viewership for Vodfathers. Yesterday, I was in a Deadlock game with 5 casts, 150,000 subscribers, multiple millions of views on his videos when it comes to Counter-Strike. Mimi Gaming, who's one of the best analysts inside the entire scene. All of us, front and central, our gamer tags are for display. And Hero Al Gaib, our Shiv, recognized and said one thing at the start of the game: Vodfathers. He saw Shyo and recognized him first with so much clout in the lobby. So Hero Al Gaib, shout out to you. We lost that game horribly. Turn changes are wild. But Vodfathers on top. Meanwhile, America's EMEA viewership lowering down. So we're eating. What's happening to the rest of the world, Josh? DMV, what's going on?
These reports always piss me off, Shyo. They always piss me off. Okay,
really?
Because people always end up looking at the peak viewership, which is just it's the large penis statistic. It's literally useless. Like, it's not. It's purely for show. It's like hair on top of your head. It has no function. It's purely for show. Okay? So what you need to be looking at with viewership is you always want to be looking at average viewers, in my opinion. Like the one that people normally use is EMEA, but whatever. Average viewers is exactly the same. And if you look at that, and weirdly enough, if you look at the ES Charts report that they published recently about Valorant at Stage 1, they never mentioned the proper statistic anywhere in the article. So I had to go back digging through like the previous years of stuff. They talk about, it's fallen over 20%. Yeah, some of the watch time has fallen over 20% in some areas. But watch time's also a silly metric to use when you're comparing one stage to another, because literally the hours broadcast are different as well. So it's just really a bad piece of news, but with interesting data behind it that you have to kind of dig into to go and take a look at. So I pulled the actual data myself, and America's is down bad. Like there's no disguising it, even when you look at the real numbers. If you look at the average viewership, America's is down 21%. So somewhat similar, but not quite as bad as the hours watched metric. 21% though, bro, is horrendous from 2025 stage 1 to 2026 stage 1. That is really bad. EMEA is down 16%, which is bad, but not as bad again as the hours watched.
Especially in EMEA, that actually means they've only lost about 10 viewers.
But then Pacific, the big difference really in terms of how you frame it is Pacific, because Pacific's only down 2% of hours watched, and it's up like big in terms of peak viewers, so everyone's getting really excited about it. If you look at the average viewership, it's still down 5% year on year. So even Pacific, who are actually having some of their best years in terms of like big moments are popping off.
Can I just say as well that I have no idea, how did that even happen? Because their grand final was a 3-0 whitewash. I know Paper X were in it. I mean, did everyone from Thailand tune in?
Yes, actually though, look at the paragraph right underneath the one that we have on screen here says a record-breaking Thai audience. Does it actually say the number? No, of course it doesn't, because they hate reporting the actual numbers. You can find the number yourself, though. It's like 110,000, something like that. So they had and that's not 110,000 scattered across. That is like, at one moment, they had 110,000 people tuned in on the Thai broadcast. So yeah, Like most of the time, peak viewership is caused by having one regional stream go through the roof because, like, Carmen Corp are playing, or Loud are playing, or General Mates, or whoever it is that just has like a really strong regional audience. And all the French teams are crap right now. Koi got kicked out of the league. What the Brazilian fans are scattered a little bit. They're not really they're not behind one big team the same way that they were with Loud, and all of the casual fans that love Tenza are not tuning in anymore. Like you still actually have decent average viewership, but
right? Ten's got signed to T1, so that's why that region's doing really nice. I'm surprised for the Pacific stuff to also be not as hindered because they don't even have Twitch, right? Like this viewership's coming in from more so, I guess, Pacific broadcast channels and whatnot. I mean, they have Twitch in general. You can still watch the website from there, but
it's only Korea
overall.
Yeah, it's only Korea where Twitch is busted, but yeah. It's just, I mean, if you look at the overall numbers as well, if you're looking at overall averages, Pacific and Americas are almost identical. Pacific's got dropped a little bit, Americas have dropped a lot, but the averages, I'll give you it off the top of my head, because again, these numbers are like peaks that they don't mean anything, but the average is 165K for Americas, 168K for Pacific. So very, very similar. And then EMEA is still lagging a long way behind at 106K. So, again, it is still a similar-ish story, but these like news reports are so bad at telling you the actual data of what's going on. They're like talking about the big penis stats, which are just the wrong story.
Even if they are, though, Josh, even if they are talking about kind of the wrong stats, like it still is a worrying sign, though. No, like you're saying, like being down 20%. Yeah, definitely. Not. That's like a major red flag.
Big problem.
So, like you have been in the business a little bit longer than me. Shyo, maybe you can chime in as well with your Fortnite days and viewership there. Like what? Like okay, we're changing format next year, right? Maybe that will help a bit, right? We'll get less, we'll get less terrible games maybe that don't have any consequence. So that might help a little bit, but surely that's not going to pull it all back. So what is the solution?
Well, will it help at all? Because I'm not even sure how you begin to watch like half the stuff they're going to start broadcasting next year. Think about it. Like, I'd love to see the stats from like last year to this year's kickoff, and like people watching, from then to now in that stage when there were so many games that were overlapping, so much Valorant happening at the same time. Yeah, I know in this stage it's a bit easier to track because it's different. The kickoff format was a bit different, but when it comes to an open format, you're missing a shit ton of games. Like if there's games that viewers might want to watch, they don't know how to watch it, how we're going to be watching open format all the way up till those cups. That's a huge question, because right now in tier 2, half the time viewership is split apart. If there's a very popular team, we're not watching because the broadcast chose to watch the smaller, maybe subsidized teams, because they also need the time on broadcast. I'm not sure what changes next year. I mean realistically changes are happening because this was probably projected, right? Like something needs to change. But I'm not sure if it helps at all or if it hinders. Yeah.
I would say also the big, like, if you take a step back, the big picture story is that Valorant isn't tapping into any new markets in the regions that it's already in. Like, aside from China is a big exception in all of this. So, leave that to one side. And by the way, that is like the biggest reason why Valorant is still really successful at the moment, is because it has blown up in China and is so massive there. But if you ignore China and you look at everywhere else, the different from 2023, like 2023 was, wow, partnerships out, big growth year in that kind of sense, right? Lots of different markets to try to still break into, trying to prove that Pacific could actually still be like an extremely competitive region as well, like different areas in Pacific too. 2024 was them tapping into more of, in my opinion, the YouTube market, because that coincided with the year in which YouTube changed its algorithm to start pushing live content much more heavily. And speak to any content creator around during that time, like it was the year that they changed something. And live streams previously buried. After that, you saw live viewership metrics for YouTube up everywhere, across the board, didn't matter when. So if you go back and look historically at the data between 23 and 24, it jumped up hugely. And most of that, in fact, almost all of that was because YouTube viewership jumped, not dependent on the region or any other team or platform, whatever. It was just YouTube. I think they've tried to do the same with TikTok recently as well. Like they're really trying to push the vertical formats and that kind of stuff. But I don't really see that there is like a big market to penetrate there. The other big one would be like if you got massive in India or something, where other large markets that you have yet to penetrate into. The console was another big one, like trying to get big into console, but I don't know that that's really pulled people into the PC esports side of things, though maybe their console numbers are good, so they're happy with that as a standalone thing. It's hard to know. But I think it's more to do with like markets and where you still have to growing room. And I think for the big trend in Valorant right now is you've kind of got over the growth stage and you're now actually seeing your market share get nibbled away at by other games like Marvel Rivals, Deadlock, Overwatch, like those kind of titles. So
well, on those titles, yeah, what are those titles doing right now outside of esports that's really helping their growth, right? Like just to mention this again, it's all about the game at the end of the day. Like I feel like I'm Calhoun from Video Game High School. If you guys know, you know, but it's all about the game. And I feel like Overwatch, like, got a MOBA mode coming out, Stadium. It was in the depths of the slums, the abyss, literal, what's it called? There's a band about it. The lowest point in the earth, in the Pacific Ocean, Mariana's Trench. Like, it's literally, that game was literally in the trenches. But resurgence, new characters, the whole thing about releasing 10 of them. The game, like, my IRLs are back to playing it. This is anecdotal. Marvel Rivals, Goon Tech, you know, like the skins coming out there. But honestly, even the characters, Cyclops is being released. Devil Dino is a thing now. You're playing a goddamn huge dinosaur. I can mention like some of the things that all these games are adding. Apex as well, with like some of the creator tournaments that are happening. The agent updates. It's like in one of the healthiest states to be able to play any character. The maps are being cycled in a very cool way the community asked for. What has Valorant got to play with as well? You know, it's not just about watching the game, watching the esport. I want to be watching Valorant and being like, damn, I want to play the game. Let's go. Let's play the game a little bit and see what's up. Nobody feels that way. And if you do, you're playing your one and done. Josh, even for you, I know you're one of the most enthusiastic players the game has. You can't even last 3 days, me included. I'll play 2 games. I'm like, damn, I kind of want to go to Deadlock. That's like doing a crazy patch change every 5 seconds. I want to see what's going on over there to actually play. I feel like the actual play thing affects the viewership too. I'm not sure if you guys, I mean, it's purely hypothetical from my standpoint. I don't have stats to back it up, but you got to have a game that people want to play as well over time.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. And it's so funny because sometimes I do watch Valorant and I'm like, yeah, man, this game, it's a good game, this is. But then, like, you're right. You know, people, as soon as you queue up, you think, is it? I think the one thing is, though, like, in general, Riot, they're very conservative, I feel like, in the way that they manage the game. Like what you're talking about, and you come from Fortnite. You know, Fortnite was all about, you know, what's the hypest thing we can do? You know, let's just let's do it.
They also dialed back. Like the issue with Fortnite was they had an update that was a seasonal update every 2 weeks, and that was why the game popped off. But then they realized this is unsustainable. Much like Arc Raiders right now, which is also going through a nice little player bump. They released the thing. They were like, yo, we can only do this twice a year. We can only do this once a year. We can't do this every month. That's insane. And people got used to that. At least they get something. But sorry, your point.
Yeah. No, well, my point was just that, like, they are, in my opinion, very conservative, right? We follow a kind of strict schedule, right? Like, agent comes out after a masters, you know, then a map comes out, then an agent comes out, then it's the off season. We'll do one big patch then, you know, and that's kind of like the cycle we have created now. And, you know, they've added some game modes that have, you know, some have been hit or miss, right? Like some are doing all right, it seems, you know. But even with like the replay client, right? The way that they release it, how long it took them to release it. You know, I remember Bala saying, you know, I don't care if it's a bit buggy or whatever. I don't give a shit. Just give me a slightly buggy version so that I can watch some fucking VODs, right? Or even how they've released it in general, right? Where it starts off, well, you can only watch your own VOD at first. You know, we want to, you know, that they don't, in my opinion, take many risks. They aren't willing to, you know, obviously, and then you've got the whole, like, obviously in other games, you know, people themselves can create maps and create, you know, all sorts of shit. Obviously, that's not in Valorant either. So, you know, they want all of that control, but then in that control, I feel like they're very, we're very we're exactly what Josh wants the UK government to be.
That's not true at all.
Well, to speak on one of Josh's earlier points, he was talking about emerging into these new markets. I think that is the tech for Valorant. That's what they need to focus on. India is a very good shout, because the first thing you do when you've never played Valorant before is have an amazing experience. Like, once you actually tap into the game, it's amazing to go from Asian to Asian. The game feels clean. The shooting is very unique. If you've played CS, you feel like you're playing a better version of the shooting. I understand the shooting mechanics in Counter-Strike. Before I get roasted in the comments, have a higher skill ceiling. I'm just saying it feels clean playing Valorant off rip. I feel like there's an argument too, though, to like actually supporting the players that have been there for you over time. I think this 20% loss of average viewership, whatever it is, could also be regained back if they try to prioritize some of the players and people that have been supporting them for a lot of years. Like, anniversaries are dope. Some of these events where you get like a title card or a player title are cool too, but like skirmish has been the only thing that I think has been a very big success and is somewhat accessible for me to come back to, and returning players to be like, why not engage with comp? I can engage with this, right? Like, the quick play essence of Valorant right now is just not there. Like, there's no retake mode. There's no ARAM from League of Legends that has mayhem right now that's going crazy. Overwatch, we could just quick play if we wanted to right now. We don't even need to get into comp. Easy way to be accessible with the game. The returning player has nothing to come back to, and I feel like that's where you get lost. Like, you'll watch a VCT game, you won't play. You'll watch another one, you won't play again. And then the third time, you just might not watch because you're not playing. Sometimes I want to watch a Fortnite pro match because I remember playing the game and having a good time. Or I'll be playing some Overwatch and I'll be like, what does the pro scene look like? Is this new character viable in pro games? I'll tap in because I'm playing the game. But if you're not playing, how are you going to get to the pipeline to watch? That's a huge thing too.
I mean, one of the things that is a positive to take away from this is that they're already addressing the stagnancy aspect of things by changing things up enormously next year. And because the way in which they're changing things is also going to create more of those peaks throughout the year, that not only do fans tend to tune in for, I mean, that's those peaks are how you get the moments that create peak viewership too. And because that's such like a marketing aspect, like I was on my little rant about it earlier. The reason that people talk about it is because it tickles the brain, right? Like, averages don't tickle the brain. Big number tickle the brain. So if you see Valorant had, we used to talk about it with Counter-Strike years ago, where it was like, oh, they just hit 1 million viewers for the major. That's fucking crazy. Like, yeah, you don't say, oh, they're up 10% average viewers year on year. You say, oh, they hit 1 million at the major. Like, when you're talking about marketing and like the way that optics look and people feel about things, that's where the peak viewership and the big moments, I think, make more difference emotionally to people. And that should be something that is improved next year by this format.
The base of it, though, needs to be good. Like, you have to understand, why do we even broadcast this game as an esport, right? Like, if I can't engage with it in that way, it'll be a problem. You asked me about some of the Fortnite knowledge as well. It's like, this was an issue in the past that was fixed now, which I feel like why Fortnite viewership's way back on the rise competitively. You would watch a comp game and then you go to play Fortnite and it would have like the craziest, zaniest items, and both communities were kind of meshed into one. For Valorant, I feel like it's the same thing. Like, if I want to play retake, I'm playing AROS or whatever it is, and there's no like hub for like the competitive player to be able to engage with the game the same way they see it on VCT. So for me, it's like, yeah, we could keep hitting these peaks next year by getting into these markets, doing this changed format. What would that mean though for the game if it's not converting players to come to play the game? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that'll hurt even more so long term. The next year you'll see the same drop off by 20%, maybe even 30%, because people will dabble, but they won't stay. But I think it's still a good thing overall to see the averages are going good. I think, yeah, the big penis energy of the number doesn't matter as much in terms of peaks.
Oh, well, I mean, the averages are bad, Shio.
Oh, the averages, okay.
The averages are bad. They're just not as bad as the peaks. Or, okay. I mean, worse for Pacific. Yeah. Should we dive into the Galaxy Brain Club? Should we talk about some of the matches?
Happy?
Yeah, like, well,
get happy?
Well,
yeah.
Or
it's a bit of a doomer start.
It is a doomer beginning. It's a doomer beginning, but don't worry. We're always, emo Sideshow's here to walk you through the next point. I want to talk about some of the Americas matches that we saw. there were like a bunch of really interesting takeaways for me watching those matches between Lev, G2, NRG. We'll discuss 100 Thieves later on because, God, we need to help those fans. But the Lev G2 game at the beginning, the first one, was actually a pretty an eye-opening game for me because I thought G2 would walk in and kind of take it easily.
Didn't everyone predict on the broadcast G2 to win that one?
Yeah, literally everybody. And then Lev had so many cool set ideas. Like, I feel like the growth from Leviathan was really nice to watch over this week. I think they proved something to themselves that they can be more than what they'd previously shown. But they really suffer, I think, for not taking the number one seed. Having to play through Swiss looks rough for this squad.
Yeah, I definitely agree. In just talking about that first game, you're right. They, I think Wyatt was casting it. We were watching Split, me and Shio. We were just waiting for that B main default every single round. It did start off that way, but then they did start doing some really cool adaptations of it where they were almost faking it and faking the B main default and doing other stuff and finding advantages from it. And then obviously the defense side was really good on Split as well in that game. So I definitely am with you. The thing is with Lev in particular, for me as a team going forward, is it's so difficult to know. Like, in one mind, I'm like, well, they're Lev, it's owner. They're just going to stick with what they've got, because that's how they play. That's how they work. They're just going to, try and be the man, who's done one punch 1,000 times, right? And just do that and be good at it. But then another part of me is thinking, if the Neon nerf affects them, not Neon the player, if the Neon agent nerf really affects them, and maybe they try it and it doesn't work, because Spike in particular, where he plays Neon, should be affected quite a lot, I would think.
Yeah.
They have to change a lot, no? They'd be changing roles. Sato would be going from secondary duelist to main duelist. Spike could be playing, who knows, Neon might have to change role as well. It would be a pretty big mess, which, in my opinion, considering that the Americas teams have less time, of course, as well than the other. I mean, also they're playing in these EWC qualifiers, aren't they?
Why the fuck are they doing that rather than just prepping for the tournament? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so they're having to play them as well. So that's even less time that they've got. So I don't see them changing it. And you're right. Had they got straight through the Swiss, maybe they would have time to fully consider, does this still work? Can we still play our style perfectly? If we do need to change, what do we do? But now I'm not even sure that they have enough time, with the travel and getting used to, the time difference and all of that, will they even have enough? You can't change all of these maps. You're going to have to stick with what you got to an extent. So it's one of those things where I appreciate what they did in these games, but I am also simultaneously worried for them. I guess we'll get that into it a bit next week, but I'm a bit worried for them, going forward into London.
Yeah. There was a whole argument on Plat Chat specifically on whether it's better to be on that first seed at all for the team, or they want to get used to the stage. I always feel like the use of the stage thing is it spawned, I think, the most in Toronto with the whole conversation, where a lot of the first seeds got upset, and it's been a narrative that's kind of followed through the entire time. The first seed is such an advantage, guys. It's an absolute advantage, and I don't think any team should prefer to want to play those stage games. Just I think I mentioned it on that episode too, but you have so much money in esports, right? You're doing the EWC. Take some of that money, make a replica stage, and practice there if it's that big of an issue. Lock that in. I'll repeat the point. But for Lev, I think that the more they play, and we saw inklings of it. Who were they playing earlier that started to do some stuff against them? It might have been MIBR on Split or G2.
Furia and MIBR were both trying to anti them. Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't work out because they had their own issues overall. But I feel like if they keep doing this one man, I like that take too, the one punch 1,000 times thing. In this game, it's just not possible. There's so much bullshit that can counter that one punch if you just lock it down consistently. And again, barely anybody punished the King solo stuff. Aspas tried one time, lost his ultimate, and nobody afterwards really tried it that much. G2 had one round where they tried to fight mid really hard, and but it's never that consistent. there's crazier teams coming in with more to lose, like from China. There's crazier teams in EMEA that'll get scrappy with you on the second and third seeds CMV. So it's like you go to Split or even Lotus, any of the maps where it gets crazier than America's. I feel like Lev would have loved to have that first seed. It is going to really affect them very hard. And with that being said, that first G2 match, specifically Sunday as well, Lev, I feel like, are learning like an extra punch every time they fight like a very good team and adding it to the repertoire. They are getting better and a bit more dynamic with their strategy. It's not just the B main stuff. They had some very good A ideas. They had like vent lurks coming through as well, and some like mid-round push pulling. My whole thing that I mentioned before as well is 30 or 37 rounds without an owner timeout. What are they doing there?
I don't know
He
what.
said he was,
I don't know what was
owner
going
said
on.
on Twitter, and we found out from the chat on Plat Chat too, that he was very happy with what the comms were looking like for the team and whatnot. But like at the same time, you want to break momentum from G2 a little bit when they start getting heavily away with rounds between the two maps. What do you think of their fracture, specifically Leviathan? Because that'll be a very important map for them coming into things.
Well, I think you've hit on exactly the right question there. I was going to frame it as, did Lev like that Lev lost the game rather than G2 winning it to some degree, because Lev lost the first and the fifth map, which should have been theirs every day. Well, maybe not every day of the week, but when you're playing G2 on their permaban map, and then your fifth map is the one that you've never lost on, you should be able to win one of them. You really should.
Can I just quickly say about their fracture? This is why I am worried for them that I don't think they have enough time to change. Is not only are they going to get nerfed from the Neon nerf, but I also think that G2, also they play fucking global first. We'll get into this next week, but let me just say I'm picking global 100%. And one of the reasons for that is because G2, with I assume no prep on their fracture, can say we're just going to lock in this comp because the way you play defense is always to retake one side. There is always one side of the map that is just retake. You have your duelists on one side, and the other side you're playing retake. So we're just going to find where your duelists are, and then with a Sage chamber, with our Sage, we're just going to run to the other side and wall it off and plant the spike and hope that our post plants are good enough. And even with no practice, that in theory is such a good idea against what Lev are doing that even that was able to get G2 a fucking miracle win on a map that they don't ever fucking play. And I assume have literally zero. I assume they have literally not practiced it once. Josh just said, this is the comp we're going to run. They're going to do this. If you see a duelist, just run to the other side and wall it off.
There was proof.
And play post.
There was proof in their comms. You guys remember that comm at B Stairs? Where I think it was Leaf being like, wow, this side of the map sucks to hold and take. And it's like, it sounded like it was the first time he was playing at B Stairs.
Fracture, But I think that is... why I'm worried. That G2 could do that easily. I'm worried.
Lev's comp also looked ass on Fracture. Like, it was not. It was probably their second worst map, maybe their third worst map, something like that. They don't have the strongest map pool in the world. I think that G2 and NRG have stronger map pools than Lev does, but when you get Lev playing on the style of comp that works for them, and I agree with your point that we don't yet know whether that comp style is going to still be great with the Neon. But if they could adapt their fracture to play the Neon Phoenix chamber kind of stuff, and they would have enough different ideas with, where do we want to position the chamber in all of these different defensive setups that are going to inherit, like that comp does not play the same way. You couldn't really play the double duelist Neon Phoenix comp as a full push out the map on one side and retake comp. It wouldn't make sense. And I think they just had they had a very simplistic read on Fracture. I think that one is almost like they Flanderized themselves on Fracture. Like they normally only have one punch, but on that one, they really have only got one punch. Like they don't even think about a second punch. So yeah, that the map pools just interacted very strangely between them and G2.
Yeah. You talk about their strengths as well. Like Neon and Blows, I think, really leveled up in this entire weekend, like start of Friday, end of Sunday as well. But the biggest thing is they do play off of a lot of information in space that Spike makes. Like
Yeah,
Neon
definitely.
either blends in with everybody, or like on Chamber at least can stop one side of the map where there's chaos being made by the duelist on the other side. That nerf for the agent, I think, will actually affect the player because he's not going to be able to play with that information. And I feel like that will be a much different game for the entire team. So
I think he's the
I'm not
most
sure if
nerfed guy coming in. Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else who's more nerfed than Spike is
yeah,
by the Neon changes.
it's going to be.
Yeah. Do you want to
Gonna
talk
be
about the other two teams in Americas though? I mean, we didn't even talk about
think-
G2. G2 fucking won the whole thing.
Yeah, let's.
I
talk
mean,
G2.
is the script just fucking? Is it just every America stage? They've
Yeah.
Well,
won
they literally
what,
hire
4 out of the
somebody that
last
worked
5.
behind the
They've
scenes.
lost one game. They haven't won one, and they came second. Why? Yeah. Why would I watch Americas? Talk about
Yeah.
viewership. Why am I watching? The same team fucking wins all the time.
And then guess what? They don't win internationals.
Yeah,
which
and then
makes Americas look like a
Yeah,
Mickey.
they're gonna finish 4th again.
Yeah.
And we all look like Mickeys, though, at
mean,
the same because
thank-
we're going to say G2 are favorites. G2 should be
Thank-
top 4.
No,
I'm not going to say G2
I-
are favorites, but I am going to say G2 are top 4, probably.
Yeah,
I haven't thought about it necessarily, but like, yeah, that seems pretty reasonable to me. It's a good job that NRG won champions because otherwise Americas would look like such a goddamn Mickey Mouse region. G2 always win, G2 don't do dick. Like, yeah, they just, yeah. A couple of things stood out to me in terms of the maps, though. That like over this weekend, G2 had been avoiding Pearl for most of stage 1. I had been annoyed by that, honestly, because when they played, do you remember when they played with that Phoenix Veto comp? And it looked like really interesting, very cool. Then they play Pearl 3 times, win it every single time, win it both, what was it, both times against Lev and then once against NRG, I think. Just casually beating everyone on it. And then look like probably the best team on Lotus that we have, probably in the world, but I mean, hard to tell necessarily how it would interact with a team like PaperX. But you know, being able to beat NRG, I think, and then also beating some of the other teams like they did in the earlier weeks. I think they played against Lev Crew as well, didn't they? Who were like also looking really good on Lotus. So they've just got such a strong map pool, bro.
Well,
they can
you
play
said
almost
there is
anything.
one glaring weakness, though, in my opinion. I mean, I think that the after the Lev game, I was saying like this team should just ban Fracture. Well, Lev did them a favor by banning Breeze because their Breeze. I mean, they're still running the old, the Harbor Astra stuff that they were trying at the start. It's the one map where they've stuck with that. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Again, Alifa and Valen simply don't look as good. To be fair, I think that's another point I'll get to in a bit. But that map is just like, it's a free win to me against them. Like,
Yeah.
That one either has to become their permaban and you play Fracture now that you've won it and now that Leaf has seen the map for the first time, or you got to change the comp. You got to change the comp because it's just it's mind-boggling that they're still sticking with like you literally nerfed yourself for 2 weeks, started 0-2, admitted that you got that wrong, changed everything, started winning all of a fucking sudden, but then for some reason you've gone, well, this map, I understand, like, oh yeah, Harbor's good on this map, like this is the Harbor map. Yeah, I get that, but your team is just shit when they play it. So don't play that. And the other thing I want to point out though, sorry.
Hold on. What would you actually want them to play? What is a comp that you would like G2 to be running on that map?
Do not suggest the triple wall. I'll lose my mind.
No. I would just to me one of the main problems is that you've got Valen on Harbor and Leaf on Astra. If you want to play Astra, put Valen on it and put Leaf on Viper. If you just start there. I mean, let's just start with that.
Yeah.
I don't think the Vice, I know they're obsessed with Vice. I don't think the Vice looks
I don't think it looks good on Breeze.
particularly great on that map. No.
What would you put Baby Bay on then? if it's
That's
not
what I was
Vibes?
thinking. Yeah, that's the concern for me,
Chamber
is I'm
theory
not- I
doesn't
don't
work
know.
unless you have the Harbor stuff going on. I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like if you have Leaf on Viper and an Astra, then Baby Bay can't play a hard Sentinel. The comp slows down too much.
This
you
is
need like a double
it's
duel
the
and-
one map where
and
you
you-
need Jonah P back in the lineup. It's
just
the
ban
only
it and
map.
play Fracture.
But there, I feel like
Work on Fracture.
The most simple.
I'm not saying
crunch
play
rounds
that
from
comp.
Lev
I'm saying that
melted
you
the
could
team.
play. You can play Chamber on Fracture. You can play Vice on Fracture. It's gonna be better than it is on Breeze.
Well, here's the other problem. It's not just Breeze and Fracture. I also think their Ascent is a bit fraudulent.
Well,
and the stats have shown that too with some of the losses.
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
like they have a lot of work to do. The Yoru stuff, like I
Yeah.
like the NRG Ascent a lot because I really support, we'll talk about energy in a little bit. Gate crashing off of wall pressure, like if you just stay beside one of the walls, it gets tripped, then you activate a gate crash, Yoru has like a 15-second opportunity to be just like he was pre-nerf. And we saw it on Cat sometimes when NRG sage walled up, and then you had the Yoru walk in, gate crash back in a tree, and be a bit of a nuisance next to the wall, TP out. It was really, you do have a Vise wall as well. If you hear the B main pressure, they cancel noise, wait for them to jump spot the wall, then you Yoru gate crash backwards. We saw that happen as well. In this one, when it's double duelist, all Yoru is good for, in my opinion, is attack. As soon as G2 goes on defense, like Jog sometimes starts the round with like a 30-second double gate crash.
He can't. He can't play the new Yoru. He can't play it. He constantly double gate crashes all the time.
Horrible.
Defense is awful anyway. I was watching something play it on defense side, and he's also just the gate crashes are useless, man. It's really, really tough to get defense side value out of the gate crash. It's a weird comp. It is.
But for them, like you're saying, Josh, their map pool is goated. I'm seeing 3 weak maps. That is not a. Is that a good map pool? Like I think 5 at least is what you need for.
Yeah, maybe.
I can think compared to most teams that 4 actually isn't too bad.
Four super strong maps, and then one that they can win on. Like I don't know, like the fact that they have. I agree with you that those other 3 don't look great, but they are still able to beat some teams that aren't banning it. Like for example, beating Lev on Fracture is egregious, but also they beat NRG on Ascent too. So it's like. Yeah. Even the maps that they aren't actually
although NRG did say they aren't practicing Ascent, which I found fucking crazy.
That map should be so good for NRG.
That was crazy in itself. The other thing I want to point out though about G2, worries for G2, is Lifu, because he's playing Phoenix. He's playing a lot of Phoenix, and I don't think he's having some good maps, but he's not consistently popping off. You know, he's not. What you want your Phoenix to be is a carry, right? You want them to be your top fragger, getting ults all the time, winning you the game. I'm not seeing that with Leaf. I'm seeing an average player on an agent that we should want to be carrying the game for us and isn't. And especially for their team, like with the way that Joel plays the game, you know, Joel sometimes I think is a bit hit or miss. You know, he'll get a 4K and then he'll, you know, just die, you know, in a weird way. You know, you want people to be able to step up, and I feel like historically, you know, that's been Trent, Valen, and Leaf, right? You know, one of them will step up. But it's particularly when Leaf is on Phoenix, I want him to be stepping up all the fucking time. You know, I want him to be consistently stepping up and winning a lot of rounds. And I don't think we're getting that. I'm not saying it can't happen. Leaf is a very good player. It could happen, but I'm not sure if it's because he's maybe not super used to Phoenix, but you know, if you look at other Phoenixes, they've got some very good stats.
He's played the second most in America's Phoenix.
Well, there you go. Are his stats great?
No, they're not.
Well, there you go.
There's like, if you look at the stats of America's Phoenix players, actually, if you look at any Phoenix players, but in America's, it's quite clear. There's a group at the top who are playing it quite well and getting good stats on it, and then there's a group in the middle who are like. A bit like Leaf, where they're like, you're doing your job, but you're not taking over games. And then there's a group at the bottom where you're like, oh my God, never touch this agent. And to be honest with you...
the Aves.
Well, yeah, like the Aves. I was just looking in Pacific as well, and now I can't remember who it is in Pacific that's like that too. Anyway, like in Americas, the people at the top are like Kiko, for example, but Sato, Zekken, those kind of players. Yeah. And then the people in the middle are like Asuna, Timotino, Leaf, who are like, you know, they're good, but they're not lighting the world on fire and taking over games. And then at the bottom, it's like Silence, Alim, you know, it's people who are struggling that you don't really think of as being like great Phoenix players. So yeah, I can definitely see that, but I also think that means if G2 are already winning in Americas with Leaf not looking great, like if Leaf starts playing a lot better, there is a potential for him to get gapped. But if he improves that level of his game, then suddenly G2 are going to be extremely good.
Yeah, they're in a good spot.
Yeah,
they could finish third rather than fourth.
Yeah, exactly. They could podium.
What about NRG in specific? I want to dive into NRG a little bit. I feel like they've been overlooked in conversation across like the podcast platforms as well. In general, we've kind of skipped past them because, you know, they did what kind of people expected them to do. They could have won, just didn't.
Well, you say that. I don't. Coming from where they started, And I'm saying this as someone who did predict them,
Insane.
by the way. These two frauds, I don't think did predict them to go. But even starting from the lowers, your boy had them going all the way. I don't think most people would have said starting from the lowers they would have made it, but they did. And I think similar. I mean, again, they said they hadn't practiced Ascent. I don't fucking know why. It's not their permaban, so that was just out there for anyone to pick against them, and presumably would have been a pretty free win because they weren't practicing it, which I think is fucking insane. They also, I think, have a map like Breeze for G2 that is, you have to change the comp. What are you doing? Which is Pearl. Why the fuck is Kiko on Killjoy?
Yeah.
Why the absolute fuck is this guy
They've
on
also
Killjoy?
just played it too much. They've done everything that they can do on that map.
Exactly. And the thing is, again, I always come back to this comp, the Sova Teo double drone stuff, and saying that, it never wins. And he's like, oh, it's because people aren't playing the comp correctly. Go watch them in this fucking map. They are just sprinting it down at the start of rounds before they even use both of their drones. It's like, they're not even using the comp that they've played for fucking ever. They aren't even using it correctly. And you're just nerfing yourself because your best player is on fucking Killjoy rather than, the agents that he's carrying on the other maps for you.
Well, he started to adopt that a little bit, I think after champs, and I think overall when it comes to Pearl and this double drone identity that NRG used to have on a few other maps as well, it's kind of gone to the pasture a little bit because Kiko has been speeding up a bit more. They have been utilizing him in better angles and better agents that are a bit faster to play. I think they could keep double drone if they just switch him onto something else if you want. You can go Sentinel less, but then people tell me Pearl's so hard to play without a Sentinel. Kiko Chamber, but I'm not sure if he's that guy on Chamber. There are a few options if you want to keep that identity.
Phoenix. Just put him on.
Phoenix.
Just put him on Phoenix. The same as Ascent. Just put him on Phoenix on both of those two maps and let him run around and kill people. Play? Mada plays the
whatever he wants, whatever duelist he wants.
Yeah,
Jet,
depending
Neon,
on if Neon
Waylay, whatever the fuck he wants.
On the map. You don't, because I like
no. You're ditching double drone. You're saying fuck off double drone. I'm putting Ethan on Smokes. Learn how to play Astra, bro.
They've learned the tempo. Oh, come on, man.
Get fucking rid of double drone. Put Brock on
I don't want to take off my high school varsity jacket. It looks so nice. I know I'm 45, but it feels good. It reminds me of the old times. Oh, that's tough. Okay.
I would only have a bit of a concern on Ascent. I think you run Scuba Senti. On Pearl, maybe you do as well. But on any map where Brock can carry right now, you need to put Brock on his carry role. Because putting him on Senti for Pearl, I would be a bit reluctant of that. But I think it's okay. You can't really get involved in the game very much as a Sentinel on defense, but you can on the attack side. I think it's okay. But if you get
a day of teaching him Astra. He's a fucking IGL. You can play Astra if you're an IGL.
But he's
the
also
whole thing is just you sitting watching the map.
Yeah.
Nah, he's not goated because he's got the KO in the pocket. He's an initiator flex.
I'm not saying he's not, but he plays a lot of smokes.
Yeah, cool smokes, not Astra smokes.
But but Brock is a beast right now. He's absolutely beasting people, and
it helps because of the pandemic right now in the world where no one knows how to shoot darts at all.
That's true,
especially in Americas. It's really infecting Americas, man. That series with G2. I don't know if they just, when you're in the
gentleman's
UFC,
agreement to not shoot
right now. Let's go. just punches. No more MMA. They just stopped shooting darts and started shooting each other in the X-rays. It's crazy.
Burger boxing.
Yeah, that was wild. But past that, I think everybody else on NRG is doing their thing, looking good.
I think their Haven was a really nice surprise because they didn't play very much Haven, and then they brought that out, and their Haven is really good. Brock on Haven is destroying people as well.
I know we're not really putting Mata in the box of being that neon jumper player, but I feel looking back at a lot of their comps, they are running a bunch of double dually stuff sometimes, a bunch of neon solo sometimes as well. That's giving them information and space, just like Oshmaris is getting for Heretics, and we're saying he's going to be nerfed a little bit with that space neon, not the attack the player neon. You think that I'm not saying Mata doesn't have other options, but the team gets put back a peg a little bit by the neon changes?
I think Mada doesn't actually look that comfy on it right now. I don't think he's...
I think it's less so than other teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
and that's all.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know what they play though.
Like you're not wrong. Yeah, like they need to change some of their comps. And again, for a team like Lev, you might just already be priced in. We're playing fucking Neon. You know, this is our guy. We're playing it no matter what. A team like NRG, they're probably going to be looking at like, if we've already got a guy who doesn't look maybe like the best Neon in the world, isn't super comfortable, we got to change. So what do we change to? Now, so that's like a two-edged sword, right? But I trust NRG. I mean, you're the guy who was fucking interviewing Madder, going, Madder, bro, you're the fucking guy. You can play every duelist. Oh, I love you, man. Like you were literally the guy interviewing him, saying you can play every duelist. So.
Yeah, ShyoWager.
Time. Yeah, ShyoWager. It's time. Time to put his theories to the test, I think.
Yeah, true. But I just feel like the biggest thing NRG have ahead of them is in this switch up, in finding that comp. We've seen that it's a problem on Pearl, where they have to make a switch. They hold on a bit too much to the past, and the adjustment doesn't happen in time. So I'm just worried that might be a thing for London. I think they're one of these other teams that would have loved that first seed again, that time to be able to see what's switching over, because in what's it called, in Santiago as well, I feel like they started to get solved a little bit coming in from groups. Like they had some surprises, but as they moved up, like in the next bracket, like they did suffer because of some of the matchups they had were rematches. Some of the matchups they had kind of exposed that they had like some robust strategies, but they were counterable, you know, even at their caliber. So it's a whole thing. I just don't want them to fizzle out again, because we want Americas to win, right? We're all from, well, I guess. Well,
no,
none of us
one
really
of
are. One works in it, the other one doesn't want to believe in it, and I'm in Canada, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. But yeah,
let's talk about 100 Thieves and 100 Thieves. I mean, the fans are in a constant cycle of doom and despair. I mean, they already knew this was going to happen before it even happened. Deep down in their hearts, they already knew what the outcome of that game was.
Yep.
And I think for them. Look, I think if you're an Americas fan, it's tough because this region is solved. There is only one spot available at these internationals. Last year, it was G2 and Sen every single time. Going to every... So there's only one spot. Okay, 2 for champs, but, you know, 1 spot for the other ones. Same for this one. There's only 1 spot available. So it's tough. It's tough if you're any other team because you're not playing for 3 slots. In the other regions, we got 3 slots. Okay, Pacific, you got 2 with Paper X. But, you know, you got multiple slots to potentially get. This region, you got fucking 1. So you can't miss. You got to go through the uppers like Lev did. It's not happening. Yeah. It's not happening.
Well, so did Furia.
Unlucky.
Furia went through the uppers.
So Furia, you got to go through the uppers. If you don't, fucking call it a day. You might as well go home.
There's a theory on that too that I had, that I realized that G2 being an Ascension team, only one team's ascended every year from Americas. We've stunted our own growth in Tier 1. It's just been G2 the entire time. Every other region, like, you know, Pacific and ULF are getting up there. All game, or not all game. I mean, China, I'm less of a ball knower, but then in Pacific, you know, full DRG, they're also stunting China maybe a little bit because they're always there 24/7. But Full Sense, and was it Viral who were on the come up as well? It wasn't even Full Sense
on the come up. Viral on the come up. Nongshim.
No, as in like introducing like player Nongshim, yes, but introducing like new players coming in. There's always room for people. I guess Nongshim held on to it. Let me just not talk about the other regions.
Cooking?
And bro is overcooked, and bro is getting roasted.
But you did make me think. What a sliding doors moment it was. Imagine if the guard, when Riot said that no one is going to ascend. Imagine if those players didn't ascend. What a fucking... And would have had to have split up or something. What a crazy different time we could have been living in. When
we could have had a different sideshow entirely. We could have had a sideshow with hair. We could have had a sideshow.
Yeah.
We could have had this sideshow.
This is the timeline. C9 would be champs, multiple time champs. It would be insane. Valen IGLing C9.
I'd fuck me.
What a time.
Before 100 Thieves in specific,
just straight back in.
I don't know how we got here, but for 100 Thieves now, it's like, do you even change because you're trying to battle against the solved nation, the solved ladder, like, because what they have is good. They suffered. They were geniuses, man. To start things off, people were copying their comps in kickoff. They were that good, like on Corrode and stuff. Corrode gets taken away. Whaley gets nerfed. All the stuff that they were working on, they were owning. They were champions of. I genuinely looked like one of the top 3 teams in the region at the start of the year. Then from there, you take away Bind as well, which was their last saving grace. and they're not that guy on Ascent really. Like they don't have the sauce. They have been nerfed. They've been treated like Neon, or how Neon should have been treated from the start. How is 100 Thieves getting nerfed faster than Neon? You do explain to me that. How is that fair, man? That's not fair.
I think also they do seem to have a bit of a crumbling problem too when they go up against the teams that I don't know if it's that they feel they're underdogs against G2 and NRG, but there's name value and there's fear value in these games. The first game,
Really?
the first game, I do not know who played worse on 100 Thieves. Every single player fell to pieces in that G2 game.
What about the second loss?
I'll tell you exactly who fell to pieces in the second loss. Take one look at the scoreboard, buddy. There is one player at the bottom there that's getting roasted by Boostio on Twitter. I mean, that guy's a full Deadlock player.
What is this?
No.
This is the timeline if
Why is my
Bang
head
had decided
grown
to
so
turn
much?
up.
Why is my head so large?
They put my forehead onto your...
Yeah, look, my head is not nearly that big.
What timeline did you say it was, Josh?
This is if Bang had turned up in the game.
That's crazy.
That's tough.
Yeah. It was close though, 13-9, 13-11, and like they had some good protocols, but I feel like the rounds they lost out on, it was purely just guns. Like at the end of the day, like they just didn't have the one extra guy shooting. Cryo was doing the most he could to win these rounds. I feel like Timo was in the driver's seat. Asuna was like there sometimes. I think there were one-on-ones he could have won at certain points, but like they just needed one extra guy. One more guy.
Looking at the scoreboard of this game, though, of the NRG game, how was it that close? Like, I mean, looking at it now,
is crazy, isn't it?
They are what? Minus 33 in kills? And what? Minus...
No, bro, it's the actual impact. Like, Cryo had these guys.
How is the game that close when you're that far down? They lost what? By 6 rounds. They lost by 6 rounds.
Yeah.
33 kills is more than 6 flawless rounds. They lost by 6. Well, how is it this close?
Yeah.
It's just it's one more person needed to be a pillar on the team.
Every round is a clutch for 100 Thieves.
But I think it's so frustrating though, because this is one of the only times where I feel like you can say 100 Thieves didn't deserve the pain and the misery that has happened to them.
A little bit of cap.
What do you mean? The coaches are great, the game plans are great.
No.
The Breeze comp is good.
The Breeze comp has so much pressure on Bang to perform. The Bang as solo Harbor in that comp has so much of a mental stack to deal with. Without having a second controller, I know there's some analysts that love this composition, but the reason he's going 5 and 17 in that map, the first one, can't excuse it. You're playing Brimstone on Fracture, that's just a solo performance. On this map where you have to be, he was caught with his pants down half the time. He's not positioned properly, but he has to be storm surging and also in his smoke. But then you're expecting him to shoot when he has to use these 3 points of util that don't work the best on defense. He was not put in a good position to frag in that next map.
Fine, bro. He's fine.
No, man.
He just had a shit day. Across the other 3 times they've played Breeze, he is literally plus 23 across 3 other times that he played Breeze. Like, he just had an unbelievable poo from a butt level day.
Okay, hold on. They played MIB frauds, and then they played Loud Mega Lol. Like, there's no. Then you're facing NRG in a playoffs game.
Well, yeah, that's more difficult, and they crumbled. But that doesn't mean the comp is the problem.
This is a real game. Like, you're playing bronze versus diamond, bro. It's some different shit right there. What are we talking about?
I mean,
I'm just saying, like that when the pressure's on, it's tough, man. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just a day thing. But how do you fix that? Because the way 100 Thieves made this roster, this issue shouldn't happen. And I know it happens sometimes for a player; they don't show up. But to this extent, like it's not like it's a completely new roster change, completely new meta. I think they just suffer from not having an ace under their sleeve. Having to play these maps without something that's theirs to call their own. So much has been taken away. No bind, no corrode, no waylay. Like it's unfortunate.
Sometimes you have to be sometimes teams have to lose. And 100 Thieves have to lose.
It's just always your time.
A lot. But this year is these are better losses. These are better losses. Like,
at least they're close.
I know that TMV doesn't believe this, but you can still be happy with how a team performs, even if they don't win a trophy.
I'm a fucking
or make it to an
Minnesota
international.
Vikings fan, bro. The Minnesota Vikings have the most playoff losses of any NFL team.
You're a
They
100 Thieves
have
fan.
never won a Super
That's
Bowl.
insane.
Yeah, they are. They are. They literally are. They are the team that always is good. They have the third, I think it's the third best winning percentage of any team throughout history. They've never fucking won a Super Bowl. Everyone else around them has like 4. I'm aware of what it's like to support this kind of team. I'm aware. And you're right, it is better. It's better to support this team than someone who's in the fucking dumps all the time.
Better than
Way better.
Cloud9. It's better than being a MIBR and Furia supporter back when they were absolute trash.
Exactly, 100%.
Well,
but I do think
they
Shyo's
might get-
point. I'm giving them full. I think you're completely right, Shyo. I think this is something that people don't want to hear. But map pools and metas, as we've seen with Nongshim, matters a lot. And you're right, 100 Thieves, they've been fucking
They got
hit
the
hard
shit end
by
of
the
the stick.
changes. So I'm saying overall, they're good. Riot fucked you. Unlucky 100 Thieves fans.
And the thing is, they're going to keep fucking you. Sage is getting reworked, which is like a home agent for like Timothy.
Yeah, they're gonna make
didn't
Sage
think
use
about
they
that.
love to run.
Oh,
They're
that's
not done.
crazy.
We're coming in for round 2. A new map might come through.
Yeah.
Like, if they like Breeze or they like Fracture, whatever it is, one of these maps might be leaving. You know, if a new map
Oh,
comes
Breeze
through.
is definitely going in the next
Like,
map
they,
rotation. Definitely.
they had to somehow, like, 'cause this is the unfortunate part. The meta was theirs in kickoff. It's just the team just got together. So what do you expect? Them to
That
just
was their
have
chance.
the biggest honeymoon period ever? And now it's just like bombardment after bombardment. It's over.
Please, I can't handle any more of it. I actually can't handle any more of it.
I mean, it's so but it's so crazy. They you know who they lost to in kickoff?
Ooh,
G2, NRG,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
NRG.
Oh, I don't want to listen to it
I'm
anymore.
Apart
ditching
from
these
one game,
earphones.
they have only lost one
these are
game that
cursed.
isn't to
These are
G2 and
cursed.
NRG.
No, I don't want to listen.
They
We were
lost to
supposed to be
Sen, who they
safe.
also never fucking beat. They have beaten every other team they've played and lost to just
I-
G2 and NRG. And Sen won.
Listen, Josh, his earphones are gone. TMV, the doom has infected our earphones. We need better headphones and audio quality. Is there a savior? Do you hear that? It's Raycon.
Oh, this message is sponsored by Raycon. If you want to block out the noise of the outside, if you're a 100 Thieves fan who just wants to ignore the world and play Rage Against the Machine or whatever the hell in your with
let the
full
intrusive thoughts
noise
win.
cancellation, then you should try out Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic. They can become, just like they are with me, your go-to for daily listening. When I was traveling on the train in 35-degree heat this week, I had my Raycons in so I couldn't listen to everybody else crying about how they were going to faint on the train. they're packed with upgrades. They've got active noise cancellation so that you can block out the pain of the world, and a super comfortable ergonomic design so that you can finally feel a little bit of comfort in your lives, 100 Thieves fans. And the new colors are awesome as well. For example, you could rep Cool Mint and pretend to be a Leviathan fan instead of a 100 Thieves fan if you wanted to know what joy might be like for one little time in your life. And they deliver the same premium audio quality as all of the big brands, but at half the price. Imagine big value, but without too much suffering. Couldn't possibly be you. Add in over 3 million happy customers, which again is far more than 100 Thieves have done over any franchise. And a 30-day happiness guarantee. 30 days of happiness in your entire life? You've never fucking had that.
30 days happiness.
You've never had one day of happiness.
They might need to put an asterisk on that one and say may not apply every 100 Thieves fan.
30-day happiness guarantee. The Everyday Earbuds Classic are the perfect addition to your everyday routine. Go to buyraycon.com/vodfather to get 15% off. And thanks to Raycon for sponsoring. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm safe from doom. I'm safe from doom, and I want to get into. I mean, why is there is that an eggplant? Am I just? What is going on, Josh? you alpha/beta. What is this?
Are you an alpha or are you a beta?
Why is it an eggplant?
To be honest with you, I don't want to talk about that.
All right, let's. Am I an alpha? Am I a beta? Why do you ask this question? Who does this?
The reason I'm asking this question is because everyone's talking about MIBR and everyone's talking about aspas. This week and last week, with MIBR disappearing, going out, aspas also did an interview with who was it with? Actually, I should Spike Brazil. So it's the area where they normally do the most
player?
kind of like. No, not the player. The Spike Brazil. They do interviews all the time with the Brazilian players, and this time it was fully translated on Reddit by Dorito. And I thought this one was really intriguing, especially because TMVU just did a video about aspas too. So I wanted to run people through kind of like the big 3 takeaways from this interview. I'll summarize it a little bit, and then I'll throw it over to you guys to hear what you think, and also how that corresponds with what you've been doing, TMV, with your videos too. Mm-hmm. So to me, there were 3 big things to take away from this aspas interview. And before we begin, like, he was super insightful, very reflective, very like, this is by far and away the most that I've heard aspas talk. Partly because he's not actually that comfortable with his English, I think, but he still wants to always talk in English whenever we do interviews with him on the broadcast. So he doesn't tend to go as in-depth as he could if he was speaking Portuguese. But one of the biggest things he says immediately is talking about a leadership figure on MIBR. And this is something that has been theorized for a while, but nobody's really heard from the team, I think, to this degree. So I'm gonna read a quote here, which is... a key aspect to why we lost is that we don't have a leader inside or outside the team. Having someone to put all the pieces together and have a general read in and out of the server is a key role. If you observe all of the best winning teams, all of them have a leader. And I know you would expect that to be me, given my experience, and that winning champs and stuff would make me the leader, but that's not how it works. A leader isn't the same as an IGL. A person can do both, but in my opinion, you can make or mold an IGL, but you have to be born a leader. This is a role I will unfortunately never be able to fill, and this is a role our team really needs right now. Which I think that's a crazy quote in terms of being like extremely open and giving you an insight into what's going on both for him and for the other people on the team. Before I even get to the other ones, I kind of just want to talk about that with you.
Yeah, I mean,
you go, Shy.
My initial like gut reaction is, whoa, where did management go wrong with building this team then? Why is the guy who does not want to be the leader, who does not have that quality, you should know that behind the scenes more with him, and why does he have the say as to what the roster is looking like if he can't lead it? Like, why are we trying to build around aspas if he's not going to be the person also heralding the build itself, being the person who's asking to play with certain players, but then not being the glue for those players? Doesn't really make that much sense to me. That's like the most oxymoronic setup for failure thing I've heard in my entire life. Like, GE have a very good system where they have a leader and an IGL. I get that they can be 2 different players. I don't understand how aspas is not a leader. And there have been interviews, correct me if I'm wrong, in history throughout the last year, even of the Americas, where they've talked about aspas' leadership inside and outside the server, guiding some of the newer players coming in.
No, don't think so.
There was 1 or 2, man, I swear to God, where it's like, yeah, aspas has been helping the team get used to things and yada yada yada. I swear. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been corrected.
Maybe it might have been. You might have seen this about MIBR previously when Shenamon Cortesia came into the team, and he might have been like helping them out with some small stuff. But generally, this kind of aligns with what I've thought about aspas in terms of his personality. In the sense, like,
so why does he have the keys though? He shouldn't. It shouldn't be built around him.
Fucking insane because he's insanely good at the game.
But like,
but I agree with you. I'm just telling you why it happens like that. Yeah, I think they were hoping that Zekan or Mazzino, because they're more like outgoing personalities, would be that like emotional center for the team, and so you would have like extremely good player aspas, IGL but not leader Verno, and then you would have 2 kind of like emotional vibe guy kind of quasi leadership figures in Zekan and Mazzino, but. Yeah, you don't have somebody natural.
Yeah,
I feel like. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I can completely understand. I completely agree with him that I think leadership is he can still be a leader, and he still would be a leader because he's aspas, and because people are gonna just watch what he does because they're like, well, he fucking knows what he's doing because he's fucking aspas, doesn't he? So people are just naturally going to somewhat follow them. But I think he's in a bit of a difficult spot that when he's probably, and again, I'm interpreting his words there, but he's probably talking about moments when things are down, and I do think that is a bit of a personality thing that not everyone has, right? And again, you can look at. In my video, I was comparing him to Messi, and that is another good comparison of like Messi's not like an on the field. He's not going to start screaming at you and start. He's a small guy who's quite reserved in his personality. Like he's like if his team was doing really terribly bad, someone else on the team would probably be the one who's rallying the troops. It wouldn't be him, getting everyone in a huddle and like, geeing them all up. Like, so I do think that. Yeah, and you're right, Shyo. Like, why then, if and we're just assuming, that he's had like a massive part to play. I don't know if that's actually has that been fully reported that he was handpicking the team. Surely there was some sort of collaboration.
More like rumors, I think, but
yeah,
I think he was pretty heavily involved with player selection.
But that is but that's something that you could say like is a problem with the org, right? Like someone should be like. Someone with more experience has to be guiding him, right? And understanding and telling him like, well, what if things go wrong? Do we have someone who can fix that, right? Because again, I think a lot of us just assumed, well, look at this team on paper. They're going to fucking fry, right? They're going to be good. But there's always a chance. I mean, we've seen it with other rosters as well. This isn't a one-off thing. I mean, Vitality last year was the same thing, right? If things go wrong, who's going to fix this? Well, no one, and it's going to fucking fall apart and it's going to be terrible, right? And I think... for him specifically, the problem is if he's looking for someone, it's going to be difficult to find someone who is on a team with aspas but feels like they are the guy. Because a lot of people are just naturally going to look to aspas. Well, you're aspas, so you help us because you're aspas, right? A lot of people are just naturally going to do that, especially if they aren't super experienced. Because who the fuck is going to tell aspas, come on, bro, what the fuck are you doing? When he needs to hear it. So you have to find someone. There is a very short list of players who perhaps are experienced enough and, have the right personality to be able to say to, aspas, let's fucking go. That's not, there isn't many people who can do that.
If you look back on the previous version of MIBR, Verno was the IGL, but Ardazine was actually the guy who was more of the leader and at times was IGLing for them as well, right?
Yeah.
So, but like Ardazine was more of that leadership figure as far as I understand, and also you had Cortesia who was like a pretty big energy guy as well. So that does make up for it, but yeah, it's a rough one. Do you
want to continue?
Leadership,
but I would just say to finish that point though, like that quote in and of itself, doesn't that suggest something's got to change with the roster? Because that's not coming out of thin air.
I mean, okay. Like, for that specifically, yes, but that could also just be a check-in into a mentality that's happening right now. That quote could also mean he's got some work to do to maybe fill those shoes. Like, there's an arc for aspas that's still left. He could still be that leader.
Can I read out? This is a role I will unfortunately never be able to fill.
I know he's saying that, but how McQueen thought he was never going to race
Josh,
again. And
do you know if
they
have a like psychology, coach?
So I don't know whether he actually works with MIBR specifically, but there's a guy who works with a lot of the Brazilian players who Aspas has worked with in the past and I think still does work with, called Bruno. I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but he was like he was the guy who worked with Loud during their champs run in 2022 as well. I'm actually not sure. Like maybe if I looked him up on VLR, maybe he would have like. No, he doesn't have a VLR entry as far as I can tell. So I don't know who he's literally working with currently, but I think he would be down to like at least have conversations with Aspas, if not be talking about him all the time.
Okay.
I mean,
do you want to carry on?
Okay. So next one. One of the biggest conversation points in the Brazilian community, and I don't think this is mirrored one-to-one in the English-speaking community, is the compositions that they're playing. And one of the biggest problems in the Brazilian community, one of the things that the team is getting the most criticism for, is playing like outdated, non-neon Phoenix style compositions. we can get into whether or not we agree with that in a sec, but like what he said regarding this was that the coaches were coming up with the comps. Now, coaches, I'm saying here, is probably just Fraud, right? Or maybe Fraud and Verno, possibly.
Are they happy?
Yeah, and Happy as well, sorry. So, like, Fraud, Happy, and maybe Verno as well. Coming up with compositions for them, putting him on Jet or sometimes Raze, and he basically just accepted it without pushing back at all, even though he thought maybe that they would be better if they played more Neon Phoenix. So he had a desire to play more like Phoenix Neon stuff, but didn't push for it and just accepted, oh yeah, let's just play this Jet Raze kind of stuff. And one of the reasons that he gives behind that is because he's been trying to shift his mentality this year. So because they haven't been winning Masters or Champions for the last couple of years, he says, I knew I had to change my mentality for this year in and out of the server. And then he connects it, without exactly saying why, to the compositional stuff. So I think maybe more to do with the idea that he thinks instead of being the guy that like should be playing the most hard carry stuff, he's feeling like he has to fit within the team identity a bit more. And so that's maybe why he's talking about team mentality in this area. I've got a lot of thoughts about this aspect of the interview, but I wanted to throw it open to you two first.
I mean, in terms of the, like, I'm looking at their comps now. Okay, like, I understand what you're saying. They're not playing a lot of, like, Neon Phoenix, but, you know, going through it, okay, their game on Bind, they played Neon Raze, pretty normal. On Haven, they're playing Jet Phoenix. Okay, it's probably not quite as good as the Neon Phoenix, but is it like a disaster? My overall point here, looking at some of the comps, is apart from maybe their Ascent comp playing double Senti with the Sage, I don't think, or like playing Jet on Fracture rather than Raze, I don't think that their comps are like a massive disaster that have to be like, you know, analyzed and scrutinized to high heaven as the reason that, you know, things fell apart. Because, I mean, looking at their games, right? When you look at their games, I don't think it was a comp problem. Like, you're losing to C9 Envy, right? Like, those games were not... You should like, especially going into those two games, like when they were playing C9 and when they were playing Envy, you should be able to beat those teams playing pretty much whatever comp. As long as you don't completely troll. Like, MIBR should be good enough to beat those teams playing any sort of standard comp. And they got fucking rolled by Envy. So, to me, like, saying it's a comp problem or whatever, like, that's not necessarily a comp problem. Now, going into some of the other games, like, okay, in the playoffs against Lev, again, the double Senti on Ascent, maybe you would argue that, you know, was a bit of a problem. But I think the comp stuff is a bit... I don't really, like... I'm not buying it, if you want. I'm not buying that the comps were, like, the main issue with this team. And then, what was the second point that he said?
Well, the part of the reason he didn't push back and try to play the most meta stuff is because he wants something about a mentality shift this year, because he hasn't won Masters or Champs in a couple of years.
You're the fucking best. You've been, like, whoever's on that team needs to be telling him, you are the best fucking player in the world. That's why you're building a team. Don't be fucking thinking you're part of the pack. I don't want you playing fucking Sage. I want you fucking dominating the game, son. Lock the fuck in. You're the best player in the world. Do what you think is right, and I'll build the fucking thing around you. That's what I would say to him.
Oh man, but that just contradicts like what his role would be then. If it's built around you, you're the leader. If it's built around you, you have the spotlight. It seems like he just wants to be a godlike role player. And for this comp thing, if he's like advocating for the Neon, first of all, I want to correct you, TMV. You said double Sentinel comp on Ascent. That was a triple Sentinel comp. The way he was playing Jet, that was a triple Sentinel composition.
You made me. I was about to go back and look. Then, like, what? What?
Did I miss? No, I mean, I was doing some VOD review like right after that game ended, and there was this one round where like they ignore lane completely, and like aspas is like completely behind everybody, and they're all in a line looking at CT. And like I'm going on a rant for like 12 minutes about his positioning, where he should be, blah blah. Press play for a second. Tex is even ahead of them as Vice, like all the way in market. Like it's, anyways, random funny point. the actual comp thing, if he wants to play Neon and he thinks that's a viable option, that would be also something where he would be forced to play a bit faster, right? It wouldn't be like a DG Zen opping Neon that's slow. Like he clearly also has a little bit of a read on the meta. I feel like if they want to pick the Jet for him, he's going to be playing Jet this way. I think the comp switch up would actually do miles and push this team forward bounds if they actually utilize Neon in the best ways. I feel like they want to put him on
think
Jet.
if they put him on Neon, he would press his W key?
Yes, absolutely. With how busted Neon is, or at least like in these overdrive rounds, he's actually going in. In some of these knife rounds, he's still kind of a little Bates pass. Like he's not fully committed to pushing forward. But I feel like Neon, the way she's being played right now, everybody else around you is playing Neon in a very specific way. You will get inspired. Maybe he doesn't play Neon. They lock into Neon, for kickoff. It doesn't go the best way possible. You see what Dombi does. You will try to emulate that if you're a Neon player at that point. If you've integrated the character into your compositions, I feel like the comp change would have done crazy things for MIBR. But then it's also like, the way TMV's talking about it, it's just a little bit of a paradoxical situation, because if you're going to build the stuff around aspas, you're looking towards him to be the paragon and the leader of things. The way you're seeing this entire situation, Josh, is he just wants to be a very malleable role player. He wants to be told what to do. He wants to be part of the pack, which is the opposite as to what the world sees him as right now.
Well, I think there are star players that are not like leadership players on the team, although they're not as common, admittedly. But I think he wants to be somebody where the strategies are built around him, and he gets put in positions to succeed. But I struggle to agree. I don't think I agree that putting him on Neon would have increased the tempo that he would play at. I think one of the biggest problems at the moment is that he's actually not fully diving into the identity of I'm gonna go and win us rounds. I think that there's a lack of belief that if he fully commits, they are gonna clean up behind him. I think that let's rewind a little bit. My opinion on the comps is they are mostly playing somewhere between Paper Rex and the meta. So either on the maps where they play the Jet stuff, fucking go and watch Paper Rex. They play it immaculately. Something is playing super aggressive, really good double duelist Jet kind of things. And there, it is not a comp problem. It is an aspas playstyle problem. That is the problem with running those kind of compositions. And then on the maps where they're not playing what Paper X are playing, it's mostly because they're not playing the Jet. It's mostly because they're playing Raze Neon on Split and Lotus instead of Jet Raze. And then fine, I'm totally fine with aspas playing Raze on those maps and Zekken playing the Neon. There should be no problem with your execution on those maps. The comps are absolutely not the problem, in my opinion, in those situations. The only place where I think the comp problem is real is that Ascent comp that they picked, where they went for the double Senti and Zekken's playing the Sova. It just that one doesn't make too much sense to me, but I'd rather see Zekken play the Phoenix on that map and see if he could play it to a really high level. His stats when he did play the Phoenix were really good. I would like to see them lean into that more, but I don't think it was to do with aspas. If you want to have a comp discussion, it's about Zekken and putting Zekken in the best place to succeed with the Phoenix. And maybe they just misunderstood how they could use aspas, but I think a lot of that is coming from him. You can't tell me the coaches were telling him, when you have knives, updraft with your knives and then dash backwards. Oh, aspas, by the way, it's better to dash away from the action 99% of the time. There's no way that the coaches are telling him to do that. That's him. That's his natural tendency to bait, unfortunately, coming out stronger than ever because he doesn't have confidence in the team, I think. So I don't really buy that. The TMV, when you were looking at the gameplay itself, what were your big takeaways for MIBR and aspas?
Well, I think it's I think when I was making my video, there was a lot of heat on aspas. So when I was making that video, my video was a bit of pushback to that, essentially, saying it's not just aspas, there are rounds here where if they are just more patient, the round makes more sense, right? That for instance, there was a round where he buys an op and the round call is to smoke off A main on Fracture, where his op line is, and like it's literally Carmine Corp-esque. I've got an op, I'm gonna smoke you off. So you can't op down there, and we're just gonna run solo Neon into Sans. Well, none of that makes sense. There's clearly like some disconnect there with what aspas is thinking the round is, and then what like the round actually is, or what some of the rest of the team think the round is. And there's multiple instances of that. So for me, it's like, well, in my head, like if I was coaching his team, it's like, look, guy, I would tell the other 4 players, look, guys, he's made the team. He is the team. If you want to stay on this team, you got to play to his style. You gotta learn what he wants, because otherwise, what the fuck are you doing on this team, right? So, in my opinion, it's like, it's not that aspas can't be wrong. There are definite times where he is wrong, and is just baiting, and it definitely would be better if we did that. But I just think, as a whole, and maybe you're right that like the meta that we've been in this year doesn't really suit it to play more passive. We've been in a very aggressive meta, right? Just in general. Yeah. So maybe it's not like the best time for his playstyle in general to thrive. But I would be telling the other 4 players on that. One, I would be telling him, because you're right. I think he has a lack of confidence, maybe in the rest of the team, and maybe in himself as well, like in terms of what he's doing. I'd be telling him, bro, you're the best fucking player in the world. Trust yourself. Do what you think is right, and he'll probably start frying like he did at Champs against NRG in that game. And I'd be telling the rest of the guys, like Zekken. Zekken, I think, almost sometimes wants to lean into this role of like, I'm the selfless star player. That's why these two, like, they said they wanted to play each other. You've got, you might say, the selfish star player, who wants to bait and get kills and have stats. And you've got the ultimate selfless star player who wants to go in and sack. I think Zekken is doing that too much. Like, he's thinking, I've got to just fucking send it and die. Bro, don't just send it and die. Take your time. Play at his speed. Chill out.
I mean, pick up the speed.
No, you're not going to, though. And I'm not saying that he's never wrong and that you should never run fast rounds or whatever, but if he's going to pick up an op, because he's one of the best oppers in the world, like EDG wouldn't say to Kankang, yeah, you buy an op, and sometimes Kankang is very diligent and slow. The rest of EDG isn't fucking sending it on the other side of the map whilst he's doing it. They're waiting for him. They're going, you're Kankang, you've got an op. See what you can do. Get a kill, and then we'll do something.
But the common problem round for MIBR is like they'll wait for the op sometimes. It's when the execution's about to happen, aspas needs to link up with Zekken then and get on the suicide run. But there are multiple times,
I pointed this out in my video, there are multiple times where the rest of the team is saying, right, let's go exec, but he's still ages away. There's no chance for him to be able to catch up. Like, they've already
but there's
gone.
also multiple times. Like, I can just personally remember in that Ascent match, there are multiple times, and in that split game the week prior as well, that there are multiple times where it's just time to go. Like, it's down to 40 now, and he will start, the exec will start, and he'll take 2 steps back. And I'm on your side too, though. I feel like they can play with aspas. Like, I'm just as a caveat, I feel like the problems have been a bit of that mismatch, but I think he's a Cryo Cells-esque player right now. That he could go back to mega form and like be on the Cryo Love's chamber. You can play this Jet slowly as well. But if he just swaps to Senti, man, honestly, if he just swaps to some of these more aggro Sentis, we're fine. Or play the Jet, get on his pacing for sure. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, like, he's not Cryo. He's not Cryo. You know why? Because he's way better than Cryo. He's shown that. I'm sorry, Cryo's a great player. We're talking about the best player.
I don't know. Like, he could be godlike, man. I just feel like if he's trying to play this way, he wants to be a role player. He wants.
But he shouldn't want to be a role player. That's the problem. He shouldn't want to be.
But I know. But I'm going with what he wants to do. I'm understanding why these clashes and these frictions here.
I'm telling him he shouldn't want to be. He shouldn't. I know.
But then when you put him,
I don't care if he does want to be. Don't.
But if you put him in the spotlight, TMV, he has to be somewhat of a leader. He has to be a beacon, and he doesn't want to be that. So I'm trying to put him where we could be right now without entire persona changes, psychological changes, getting in there, tinkering with the brain. Like, if you just want to play how you're playing right now, slow it down. And the slowest person on the team usually is the lurking Senti. Maybe they should incorporate Reyna, and he should lurk as Reyna, because that's also no inval. I don't know. Like, dude, change something to fit the style right now.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we're it's all right. No, it takes us perfectly onto our next segment. I'd like to go into Keep or Kick, and we're going to begin with MIBR.
Oh, God. Okay.
I want you to tell me who you're keeping and who you're kicking from MIBR in order to make a solution. There needs to be a roster change. First of all, are we aligned in the fact that this team needs a roster change in order to continue? Because TMV, it sounds like you want them to just like fundamentally change the way that they're playing to all decide to slow down at once. But
the thing is, like when he's talking about that leadership stuff, yeah, exactly. That is a large ask. And like he said with the leadership, like the leadership quote from him alone tells me like
stuff.
Well, he doesn't think the right people are on the roster.
Can you actually add a leader mid-year though?
But this is what's going to be my next point.
Tough.
This is my next point. We could easily just sit here and say, yeah, fucking cut everyone apart from aspas and Zek and fucking restart if you want. Who gives a fuck? Who the fuck are you bringing in? I mean, Shio knows about fucking NA tier 2. I don't pretend to fucking know shit. They've all gone to fucking C9. Everyone anyway.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think you could bring in somebody from tier 2.
Yeah, who's coming in from tier 2 to tell aspas, bro, this is my team now, bitch.
And Verno. Like who would these guys trust on tier 2 if not an industry plant who's been there because
they need to fucking get Sassy out of retirement. That's what they fucking need.
Here's my thing, right? Who has been historically, and maybe even just in 2025, the best leader that's inspired other leaders? Who was that guy? Who is that guy that was brought in to be a leader, although he failed? The vibes were kind of nice, and at least the comms were kind of good, right? Who is the one person that can save others across the regions from NA to China?
Oh, no, you son of a bitch. Do not say Robbie BK.
No. I mean, Robbie BK, always an option. Always a good option. Zelsis.
Oh.
What about MIBR's Zelsis? The glue guy, the vibes guy, the person that could be trusted by all these players as well, who doesn't need to run IGL and can focus on his own aim. Give him the John QT arc. Verno can go over the calls. He can just get better as a player in general, but he can lead the team when needed. Or MIBR, crazy new tech they're doing, taking star players from other rosters because they have the aspas quality. Take Baby Bay. Take Baby Bay from G2.
That would be amazing.
And get him, add the hot dog. Get the hot dog in there. You know what I'm saying?
That is funny. I think the Zelsis one would actually work. The Baby Bay one would just be interesting. But the Zelsis one would genuinely work. Like, that is a player that has got the quality of fits into the team, willing to give his life for the team, is not going to bait, which I think is a really nice thing to have on a team like this. But more importantly, is a leader, is somebody with the tenure to be respected, and isn't afraid to, tell people like aspas or Zekken to, fix their shit when they actually need it to be fixed. So
if you remember the Demon 1 game on Pearl, he's so good at incorporating zany ideas as well and thinking about a strat if you need it on the fly. Like, they were just asking Demon 1 what he wants to do on the round, and Zelsis was like, all right, you here, you there, we're good.
Yeah, because No, I totally agree with you. Sorry for interrupting. I was thinking back to TMV, the round that you were talking about on Fracture. One of the things that I noticed in the comms when we've been able to hear them is that sometimes aspas will literally just call, guys, I can afford an op, I'm buying an op. And I think that is probably a challenge for Verno to call around in rounds like you're saying. Because Verno has in his head, like, I know what I want to do in this round. And then aspas is like, guys, I just bought an op. And it's like, well, fuck me.
And that's what it feels like. It feels like, guys, I bought an op. Like,
guys, I bought an op. Oh, great. Right. Fuck me then, I guess. But like, you're right in the sense that it is aspas' team as well. So there needs to be a little bit of give and take. Absolutely. Like, you do have to sit aspas down and be like, brother, you do actually sometimes have to give the op to somebody else and go an entry for the team. Like, when we can walk around for a minute. Like, I'm going to tell Verno right after this call, you have to walk around for a minute and let aspas get his pick with the op. But once it gets to under 40 seconds, this is now your job to pass the op to Tex, and you have to go in an entry for the team. Like, you need to have those kind of conversations for sure. But is there any real world where they actually do a change like that and bring in somebody like Zelsis? I just don't.
I think so.
I don't know,
at this
man.
point,
Zelsis and EMEA they're like that.
Bring EMEA as well.
And
get the full
bring EMEA as well.
We'll be Team Nepo. We'll be Team Nepo now. MIBR.
Man, Zelsis is looking kind of nice. From what I've seen on this team as well, from what I've heard in the grapevines when it comes to their comms, Zekken now is calling a lot. Like Verno's not even the one calling a lot of the time. Zekken is the one being the most vocal. So I feel like, if Verno has some godlike mid rounds, there's room for somebody to be very vocal. leave the mid-rounding up to somebody, have the pre-round setups, the pre-barrier setups to be a bit more dynamic. I think Zelsis is the savior of Brazil, man. I feel like...
But Zelsis does a lot of mid-rounding. Like, as far as I understand it, Verno does a lot of the pre-barrier calling, and then Zekan will call a lot of, like, either when he's dead or when you need, like, you know, like, in the mid-round when you need a team fight game plan, where you're like, guys, we need to set up in a post plant to go aggressive CT push or, you know, whatever it is. Like, Zekan will call those kind of ideas from what I understand.
Okay, but then what happens in a car if you can't move forward anymore? What gear do you put it in?
I guess I'd try a different one. I wouldn't fucking put it in reverse, if that's what you're about to say.
No, if you can't move forward, you put it in reverse. Just reverse it for Verno. Verno just mid-rounds and Zelsis pre-barriers.
When I'm going down the highway and my car breaks down. Yeah, just throw it in reverse. Let's reverse up this son of a...
Bro, you once drove a car with no brakes. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true. I drove a car with no brakes down the motorway at 70 mile an hour. Terrible idea.
Well, how did you stop? Did you did you do the tech where you put on your foot on the ground like with the bicycle, like slowly slap it down, or what did you?
I drove until the car naturally came to a halt. Now, what I should have done, and if anyone finds themselves in this situation again, is that you should manually go down the gears and use your transmission to brake the car. But
you didn't know that. You weren't doing that.
There's a difference between knowing that and then you're in a panicked situation and you just think, oh, fuck, what do I do? So
that's crazy.
No,
what should you do? Fucking pull over, bro.
Pull over at 70 miles an hour?
No brakes.
No, yes, slowly. Yeah.
What? Slowly is not part of this
You're on a
conversation.
motorway. It's got loads of road. You're not going to run out of road, are you? Don't accelerate.
You have to slow down,
naturally
TMV.
slow down.
Bro, you are confusing me. TMV, how would you slow down if you don't have brakes?
If you just let a car, if you are assuming you're not going downhill, a car will naturally.
That's what I did.
Slow down.
That's what I did.
That's what he did.
Yeah, but pull over. You went all the way to your destination, didn't you?
No, I didn't go to my destination. Destination's crazy. You went to your destination? No. I pulled off the motorway, though, because the motorway at that point didn't have a hard shoulder. So there was nowhere to actually pull over.
That makes sense.
But, so I had to pull off. Why the hell are we talking about this?
I don't know how we got here.
Okay, next keeper kick.
Okay, next one is a rumor that Shyo has discovered because Shyo has tapped into people who look like him.
Because it's him.
Because I'm actually him.
Rocket Bullets tweeted. Okay, why do I look like fucking?
Why is he going the wrong way down the road?
I'm reversing apparently.
Yeah, but the car is facing us.
Yeah, I mean, the hallucination machine has produced it. That's why. Okay, sorry. Izzy, who looks like ShyoWager, is, according to a Rocket Bullets tweet, rumored to be kicked from Eternal Fire.
Yeah.
And apparently the replacement would be Comeback or Spear, who plays Sentinel and is like an insanely good player for the like normal Eternal Fire team.
Yeah, where's if you can let me know which team Spear is coming from.
He was on the he would have been Izzy's old teammate.
Fire.
He would have been Izzy's old teammate. Yeah. He is very good, Spear, if it is for Spear, but that would be kind of weird. That would be them going.
Spear's been playing Duelist recently.
Oh, has he? I was going to say that would be them reading into the patch notes. Guys, they're gonna buff these Sentis. You're gonna buff some of these other agents. Just you fucking wait. Double Jewel is dead.
I'm just looking at VLR now. After Izzy left, Spear's been playing full-time Duelist.
Oh, okay.
And he's been, by the stats, fucking tearing shit up.
Which agents? Which agents?
Neon mostly. 17 games of Neon, 2 games of Jet.
Oh, okay. Then it doesn't make sense to me because it's like you'd switch this because maybe the scrims have not been going well with Izzy on Neon. But to me, keeper kick the player manager. What are we doing right now? Like Izzy's a god, bro. Please, I have no bias here just because of the visage, but like this guy is frying on the team. It's the reason the team had legs, I swear to God, in half the rounds. He's doing illegal things. I know it's on Neon, but I feel like he can replicate it on Jet. He can still have a good impact. We haven't even gotten to see it yet. Punishing a guy because I say that's punishment at least after a split like that is insane.
You know why they've probably, if this is true, It's because they've just lost EWC qualifiers to Carmen Corp and BBL.
Brother.
So this is probably, if it's true, this is almost certainly a reaction to losing the Mickey Mouse qualifiers, which is crazy after such a good split.
Yeah, it's
cringe,
harsh.
dude.
It's harsh. But then again, like if it's for comeback, I'm not having it.
I'm
not having it. If it's for Spear, I'll be like, sometimes
Spear could be an improvement.
Spear could be an improvement. I'd be willing to hear them out for that. I know he looks like you, Shyo, but Spear could be an improvement. I'm not going to say he definitely would be. It would be a risk.
What if
because Izzy's
Spear
been
looks
pretty
like
good.
you, TMV? And then
I
it's
doubt
just
it.
like
I doubt
the third-
anyone
the
from
third
Turkey
sub.
that has my skin complexion. I'll be honest.
Oh man. I mean, okay. I mean, it's tragic because like, what do you do? I mean, honestly though, if you think about it, from teams that have had really good success in a meta, and then the meta changes, if you offered them like, hey, if you were to, would you drop Dombey, I guess, after the Neon nerfs and go for someone else, if just for that split, would you do it in hindsight? Maybe Eternal Fire just really covering ground with Spear. Well, now Francis, yeah, but yeah.
No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Next one. What's the next one?
Next one is Cloud9 have signed a tournament organizer by the sounds of it, Fireball Ops.
It is a crazy name, isn't it? It's actually one of the weirdest names I've ever seen in esports.
He's a Fortnite player, or used to be a Fortnite player. Fireball Ops.
So you know him like the back of your hand then.
I've known him for a while. I think his mother as well is in chat all the time or on Twitter and like very supportive too. So not saying I know her or anything. Like I'm being mad respectful right now. I'm just chilling. I'm big chilling because I'm seeing TMV's face. I'm just trying to cover ground.
Well, just the first thing. You know him pretty well. Yeah, I really know his mother pretty well.
But the cool thing about Fireball Ops is that he's been a part of the scene for a very, very long time and has been like consistently playing well for a very long time as well. So C9 is tier 2ifying and keeping Zelsis. If they just lose Zelsis though and MIBR picks some, they're almost there. They're almost there, man. So
Surely
close.
that's not good for Cloud9 if that happens. That would be a disaster, wouldn't it?
Well, on one hand, I get what you're saying. On the other hand, though, I am a bit like, I mean, I don't know. We've probably run out of tier 2 players that people are excited about. Or we're getting to the.
Oh, don't! They're coming up still. This next stage right now, it's going crazy. Somehow tier 2 has more players.
Well, still has players. Because like, if you're Cloud9, you've got this very young, like roster coming up. So I can understand why you would want Zelsis there to kind of keep them, like kind of mentor them in a way. I don't necessarily think like they're not going to make it on champs points, obviously. So in terms of making champs, it's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be a pretty tough road for them. So, but then going into like next year, whether they make partnership or not, assuming they've got this team, like they might actually do. I mean, that in fact feels like it's definitely going to happen now that I've brought it up. Like they're going to spend this whole partnership time not making an international, be kind of a laughing stock, and then as soon as it ends, then they'll lock in with this tier 2 team.
Yeah, probably.
But I kind of want this Zelsis thing to happen just for MIBR's sake.
No, I mean, in terms of a slot,
it's probably better for C9 to keep it.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
Like he's a super Viper player, like slower player in general as well. Very good anchor, very good lurk. And there's like a bit of an overlap there with like the way Zelsis likes to play the game on Vice sometimes. This guy plays Vice Chamber, mostly Viper. I know him mostly for his Viper. So they get this like really cool Viper player unlocked. Like Haven, I feel like would be a better map overall, and it's something that Fireball Ops has been good at in the past as well, like solo carrying games on defense mostly as well too. So it's now a 4 like tier 2 roster with Zelsis. Like people clearly under his leadership, just leveling up. Every player kind of has their own like version of playing the game as well. It seems as though they've added a lot of slow, methodical players though in combination with Zelsis. And that's like a very interesting approach to the game. I guess that Oxy is the one guy who really has to keep the pace up. I said 4, I guess it's 3. That's my bad, not 4, because Oxy's still there. But
yeah,
that'll be the most interesting thing to deal with is, can these guys keep up the pace, or do we turn into like early Lev, where we're really just waiting for these rounds to start up and then doing the same things left and right? Or
Oxy will never let it become early Lev. Oxy will
okay, it might be like
going
Fnatic. Like this team feels like they really feel what the round looks like first, and then end on a site with 20 seconds left. But they perform there. Like Jack, Note as well specifically, really good with information It just takes a while to get it.
I mean,
There's so many players.
It might end up looking like
slow.
MIBR. Like Oxy is second,
With leadership.
and he's going in, and the others are all sat back. Oh, good job getting out the binoculars. Ah, good job, second. We'll help you in a
My
little
question
while.
is, why is this in keeper kick?
Because the question would be, would you rather have this new Cloud9 team or the old Cloud9 team?
Oh, this new one,
New one.
obviously. But we've seen the old one fail. This new one could fail as well. So who knows? But at least there's hope.
Yeah.
We don't know what the future
Yeah.
holds. I just want to quickly ask about C9. Like, where is the expectation at for this team? Like, if they do, like, let's say they go 1-4 in stage 2, would you be like, they're a young team, doesn't matter? Or would you be like, nah, they should be, trying to contend for champs? And
I like the question. I want to save it for certified bangers. I'll bring it up back in certified bangers once we see the groups.
Okay.
Yeah, because then I can ask you guys.
Okay. That's
format's
good.
very different as well. We'll go over the format. What's the next one?
Next one is the Pacific, according to Sheep Esports, are looking to cut CNED, move 7 to Duelist, and sign Waddle. So,
Chef's kiss.
yeah, you're happy with this one?
Yes. Get CNED
Kick
out.
CNED?
Waddle, I mean, we were watching him together, I feel like, in Ascension.
He was good
way
in
back
Ascension.
when.
He was really good in
Really
Ascension.
fucking good. But he was also good on like maps that don't exist anymore. So I'm wondering like how he looks like now. I think Waddle's
Yeah, he probably
Abyss
hasn't
was
played the
really-
game since then.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah.
I'm just saying for eye test.
like
Imagine
Leaf
though,
on
like, if he really
Fracture.
played those-
Is this?
I don't know anything about Waddle on some of the maps that are out now. That's all it is.
Yeah, yeah.
If he's been better and whatnot. So it should be, I mean, kick CNED. TMV, thoughts on CNED? Keep or kick?
Yeah, I think this just makes sense. Unfortunately. As a
Why isn't
CNED fan.
CNED treated like aspas? Where did that go wrong? A random tangent question. Like, why isn't he?
Because he
like,
didn't
way back in the
dominate
day?
in 2022, 3, 4, or 5.
I mean,
He did that strat.
he had a
of,
chance. He had a chance in 2022 if he had been a good chamber. Like the problem was that he moved to chamber and his chamber was bad. Like it wasn't even just like he's getting outshadowed by other chamber players. His chamber was bad, even though he was in theory like a really good player to be able to adapt to that. And that year kind of killed the CNEB.
CNEB mentioned.
CNED hype. He also joined some other teams after that probably were bad for his career. Like he joined Na'Vi with Ardis and Angel and stuff, which
Forced to play Euro.
probably should have just gone to another Turkish team at that point.
Yeah.
He didn't ride the hype
true.
of Turkish players coming up.
Is that it for keep or kick?
No,
Is there
one
any other
more.
players?
Final one for keep or kick is: do you keep social media or do you kick yourself off it? And this is in reference to Rossi's crash out and Mini's response to it. Have you? I mean, my opinion on this is extremely simple.
Can you recap it really quickly?
Yeah, I mean, TLDR, Rossi posted a tweet where he was like, fuck these crazy community narratives. You guys don't know me and you never fucking will. I'm not the problem. I'm not toxic. You guys don't know what happened on Lev and C9 and Envy and, all the rest. You're just inventing your own bollocks about me coming in and changing the entire team. And Mini basically responded to that and said, if you even know what the narratives are surrounding you, you're doing it wrong. Delete Twitter, get a divorce, go to the gym, hire
Get a
lawyers.
divorce?
Yeah.
all of this kind
Divorce
of thing.
the gym.
Divorce the gym, hire a lawyer, get fit, get stupid. Basically just saying delete yourself from
Which he
the
then
internet.
he has deleted his Twitter, hasn't he? Since I think.
Rossi deleted his Twitter, yes.
So he took the
But
advice.
He deleted his account. I just deleted the app from my phone. I don't think you need to delete your account, but
True.
sure.
That's fair.
Sure.
That's fair.
I mean, my take on this is very simple, which is, yes, get rid of any social media in which you are only absorbing negativity. If your job as a pro player is to keep your mind focused on the game, absolutely delete things that are going to tilt you off the face of the earth.
Well, I don't know why we're only saying this for pro players. I just look.
Humans, yeah.
I'm not a big social media user in terms of the social media that I have. I mean, I watch YouTube, which kind of counts, but I don't interact with it other than the video. I just watch videos.
He just falls down the right-wing rabbit hole in his YouTube shows.
No. They're not all the same recommended that you get, buddy. And then I have Reddit, and I am on 4 Reddit things, I think, which is Valocomp, Soccer, NFL, and Fantasy Premier League. Those are the 4 things I'm on, and so that is essentially the extent of my social media. When I signed to Foot, they made me get like start using Twitter again and retweet some stuff and for them, whatever, right? I cannot tell you because again, some of the comments in like the thread on the Reddit about Minnie's thing, some of you are outing yourself so hard that you are badly addicted to social media. And need to rethink that because some of the responses are like, how could anyone ever possibly not be on social media? Like, bro, you got to rethink that. That's not good. And I'll tell you this, as someone who hadn't been on Twitter for a long time, it is crazy. How does anyone live on this app? I cannot understand. Like, Shyo, genuinely though, I'm telling you now, if you use Twitter regularly, you need to rethink that. I'm telling you honestly, as someone who doesn't, this is what I assume like a doctor, when they see someone who's been like smoking like fucking for years and years and years, and they're like, holy fuck, what is going on here? That is like me going into Twitter because I'm looking at this like, how does anyone want to read this? It's so negative about everything. Everything is just either half of it is just like, oh, here's 10 reasons I broke up with my girlfriend. Click on this. Like half of it is that, which is like, you don't gain anything from that at all. And the other half is just like hating on something. Get off it. Yeah. Get off it. You're supporting a terrible man, one of the worst men in the world, for one. And 2, it doesn't do anything good for you. Get off it. Go read a book. I've started reading some Agatha Christie. It's very
Agatha
good.
Christie's great. I spent, I think 2 years ago, I was reading a bunch of Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah. Very, nice, easy reading. Do it. It's better than Twitter.
Weak. You are weak. That's my take. First of all, I think keep social media. It's one of the best parts about being a player. It's one of the best parts about being in the spotlight, being able to have feedback, be able to have reactions on what you're doing. It's a public sport. It's viewable. It's watchable. You can ingest it, but it's also about not being weak. Twitter, here's the easy solution. Use the For You page, follow who you want to follow, and block other terms. It becomes a wonderful website. Stop using its algorithm, make your own. It's how I keep up with things. I have amazing animation stuff on there. I'm watching anime edits half the time. I'm learning about crazy science stuff half the other time, and I'm following League of Legends, VCT, and Deadlock players. I'm learning tech. I'm a consumer. It's just what it is.
To give you an example of the For You page, right? So obviously I don't use Twitter a lot. One of the times I was on it was when Tens and Kaide broke up, right? Yeah. And that's coming up on my For You page because there's a bunch of Valorant people.
Mute and move. Why are you affected?
But this is the thing. You can't because everyone is fucking talking about it. And half of it is just people saying that...
as a term. Let me teach you how to use social media.
Great, but I don't want to have to do that either. I could just not bother with any of it.
Okay, that's fine. Then don't be on it. But I'm saying you can be on it. It's totally fine. Social media, like the interaction is dope. By the way, in terms of being a player, it's the pivot after you're done is utilizing your social reach to be able to keep working and doing other cool things. Having a side career as a YouTuber or another influencer.
That's a good point, Shyo. But this is there's a reason, and maybe esports players. I mean, look, I don't know what they're getting paid, all of them. Maybe for some of them this isn't possible. But there's a reason that, for most Premier League footballers, for instance, they don't run their own accounts. They get someone else to fucking run their social media accounts for them, and they'll post after a game, good win or tough loss today, whatever, right? But they're not actually involved in it at all, right? And maybe then they could take over it, after they're retired, because then who cares?
But
he runs his own burner accounts, and sometimes he tweets on his main by accident. This guy has his own
Yeah,
he
a
has
sign of a diseased mind. Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is, when you're even me, for example, go on a Plot Chat episode, make one too many references. Ooh, the people are in a riot. That fuels me to either do even better next time.
I'm so far the opposite, Shyo. I'm so far the opposite.
Analysis,
I don't read my YouTube comments, not because I'm a bad guy and don't care about my viewers.
He doesn't even know that people want him to oil up. He's unaware entirely.
I don't even look at how my videos do. I don't even look
fine.
at that.
That I don't mind. That I don't mind at all. But the comments, I feel like.
I gotta hit the pause button there. If there was anything that was about getting proper feedback, it would be that aspect of it. Would be to look at how your videos are performing.
Push your passion. Get
but Shyo, you said earlier that you like social media because of the feedback aspect. Are you getting critical,
no, 100%,
constructive criticism from Twitter for any pro or any sort? There's never been a piece of constructive criticism that I've engaged with.
You don't have to take it mega personal. It's not an attack on you. It's an attack on the idea that you are, and you are an idea. You have to accept that. When things are going well, smell the roses. When they're bad, take the hate and just use it as fuel. It's not a personal attack on your character.
I just think that people that's
weak.
But you're saying weak.
If you're saying weak, then most people are weak. Like that.
I would say everyone.
That is normal.
There is something that someone will say that will get to you. Always.
100%. It will.
Well, but then the next time. But then the next time for your performance, you'll be better off having not read it. So don't do it.
But maybe I'd be better off with it in my mind, fueling me forward.
You won't. I'm telling you, you won't.
This has now become a personal intervention on Shyo. I opened up Twitter for the first time in ages, and I've got, just to give you
you have to curate it. I mean, you guys
no,
Twitter is bad, I know.
And you're right, because that's what people argued with me a while back on my stream, saying the argument that I was having with some of my stream viewers was, would you rather let your kid play 8 hours of Valorant or scroll through TikTok for 8 hours? And I was like...
Valorant.
But I said, if it was my YouTube Shorts algorithm and I got to flick through it, so I'm not letting them flick through it and they potentially change the algorithm, but I'm saying they get to watch my stuff. I'd take this because I've done the same thing that you've
really
done.
Wants them to learn about Nigel Farage.
No, because
know what Farage is saying.
Because what you're saying about your Twitter algo, where you're like, oh, I just get these, fluffy things and then nice science stuff. Like that's what I've done to my YouTube Shorts algorithm. But it takes a lot of work, and most people don't do that. Most people do not deliberately curate their algorithm to give them good shit. They just click on the shiny thing. I've got at the moment on my Twitter, uncurated, a retweet from Pansy retweeting a Valorant official announcement. Then I've got Minnie saying that he really enjoys Leviathan. It was like him talking about the review that he's just on stream. And then I've got the White House. On this day in history, Harambe would have celebrated another birthday. Tomorrow marks 10 years since we lost him. The White House.
Harambe?
Yes.
That's dope.
That's not. I mean, it's just none of it is what I am actually looking for, and I have no reason to be on the website. And now I've closed it.
But that's the whole idea: is that it's not about what you're looking for, but it's about what you could find. Like when it comes to social media, it's just about curating what is offered to you on the could find basis.
But if you are somebody that you are not somebody, if you're a pro who is going to be using social media like that, the majority of what you're going to be seeing on social media is shit being thrown at you, and then if you click on it, you prime the algorithm to throw more shit at you, and it's just gonna be a disaster.
Mental fortitude. You get even stronger in the moment. You don't crumble when it matters.
Should I train myself to have the world's greatest mental or delete an app from my phone? Which one is going to be easier for my mental health?
I'll take the training. I will take the training every day of the week. I want Iguodala. I'll take the training. I'm just saying.
Well, hopefully no pro was watching this, so they won't even know the result of this conversation. But if you're out there and you ever get a drop of any kind of attention on social media, at least mute it for a while. If not, get rid of it or use, I don't know, burners or whatever to try to shield yourself from it. Humans are not designed for this, unless you're ShyoWager.
But we could be designed for. We could change ourselves to be in the design.
Take me into certified bangers, Shyo.
Yeah, let's go to certified bangers. What's not certifiedly banging right now is social media. 2 out of 3 Vodfathers recommend not to be on it, and that's just how it works. This is how it works. The certified bangers right now, stage 2 for Group Americas. I'm not sure if you can pull it up. Like it's the most recent link I put down, but I want to talk about the group stage draws. And now we can talk about C9 and what could be the potential of stage 2. Things have changed. Right now, the top 4 is what mattered in stage 1. First, these guys have never seen this before. So
I didn't look at this.
If you want to zoom it up, you can. If you want to click on the link, you can as well. Here are the groups now. Group Alpha is NRG, Lev, MIBR, Furia, NV, and EG. Why do you laugh?
Because we just had this topic about social media, and this is why Minnie was also saying mute the VLR forums, like literally just inspect element, remove it from the webpage. We've just loaded this up, and I see a fake sick AMA, just presumably roasting the guy. Chronicle is still shit, lol. Then chopped motherfucker like shy. Early Chronicle laugh thread. The aspas haters come here. The only one that might be positive is Rien's propaganda thread. That's the only one. Everything else, vile for your mental health.
In which still, a Rien's propaganda thread, if enough people comment, you're eventually going to get someone saying, I think he's shit.
Sure.
Yeah, just don't look at the left side. I don't even
ShyoWager will
there.
chime in. Shyo doesn't want us to click on some of these links. VLR. I've just got to quickly say this. Why the fuck? I can't understand Twitter. I think it's cesspool. I don't get why anyone would be on it. But okay, Reddit, Twitter, at least they're actual social medias. When you come to VLR, you know what you are getting into. You know, if you're a pro player on these threads, what you are getting into.
Yeah.
You know it's not going to be positive. There's no fucking way. The only thing you're coming for here is negativity and or racism.
I think the problem is you come on here just looking for like information about stuff like this, and then you get rage baited by some topic title in the left, and you get sucked into it.
But it's rage bait. Like, it's senseless hate from stupid people. So how can it affect
humans? Humans get sucked in by rage bait. That's why everything is rage bait. That's why the episode of this title is viewership is going down, because we are preying on the doomer rage bait cycle as well.
True.
None of us are immune to it.
We are weak too.
But when we do it, it's justified, guys. Trust us.
Group Alpha. How are we feeling about Group Alpha? What do we say?
So what did they change again? What did they change?
That's a very good question.
So Lev and MIBR were in this group. So NRG and Furia have come over to this group, basically. And so has Envy?
Something. All it looks like is Group Omega now is a very hard group.
Oh, it's how they finished in the group stage. I mean, that's one of the main...
It isn't.
It says right there.
It's based
Teams
on
were
playoffs.
seeded based on how they finished the
But
group
it's not
stage.
true. It's not true.
That's a VLR lie?
It's a VLR lie, and I know that it's a lie because we were going to do the group stage one day earlier if it was an Omega versus Alpha team in the grand finals, because the seeding would have been set at that point. But the seeding wasn't set when we got to the grand finals, so we had to do 2 group draws back to back. So I know that it's based on playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Group Alpha
that it wasn't.
Looks tough for Envy and EG. Good luck.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this really quick. When it comes to the stage 2 playoffs, it is now the top 2 have a bye direct into the playoffs from each group, not the top 4. Everybody else does make playoffs.
Everyone makes playoffs.
Like out of the bottom 4. Every team makes playoffs. Or let me rephrase. So let's just say it goes as it is right now. NRG and Lev would make playoffs, right? If it was actually ordered.
Can you scroll down a little, please, Light? Just so that we can see the whole of Group Omega. There we go.
NRG and Lev would make it to playoffs. G2 100 Thieves would make it to playoffs.
Yeah.
Everybody else would go to play-ins from second to...
Oh, because the fucking tier 2 teams. I completely forgot. I'll be honest.
So how that works is based on if you're the 3rd and 4th seed, I believe you get a bye in the play-ins.
Okay.
Yes. The 5th and 6th play normally, and then when it comes to challengers, the teams that are qualified, the better teams get to start like in the normal side of the bracket, and then the worst teams will start in the lower side of the bracket. Is the sense, and it's a double elimination bracket as well. And the best way for the challengers players to qualify, it's grueling. You gotta make it through play-ins, and then you have to make it through playoffs as well. And you don't have the caveat of champs points in playoffs, so you have to come first, second. Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's not gonna
But that is the idea. So the number one thing people are shooting for here to not play an entire another tournament is now top 2. And if you look at Group Omega, I'd love to hear who the hell is going to be top 2 in that group. You can say that G2 are a slot in, but the rest of it is so open, man. And it's the same for Group Alpha as well. NRG, a slot in. After that, like, any one of them can make it.
I think 100 Thieves should be the team to make it. Like, based on what we've seen so far this year, because Crew have been
Even if Crew,
but Crew have been more
even
up
if
and
Crew
down,
fix their
man.
mistakes,
We have been
up and
blinded.
down, but
We've been blinded by Crew looking amazing at the beginning of the stage. The weeks 1 and 2 performance, maybe it was even a bit longer than that. Maybe it was weeks 1, 2, and 3. I can't remember. But if you look at what they did in playoffs towards the end of that stage, and then obviously we don't have any data before that, but like
He's
it
talking
is a
about finished
really,
top 2.
really
Yeah,
small
but-
sample size for Crew being genuinely good.
yeah, but if they do that again, they'll finish top 2.
I mean, I'm gonna say a few other teams as well.
What are you talking about?
Loud seem like a little bit of a threat that levels up, like as the days go on. No, like
Possible.
they have a chance in stage 2 to rumble things up. They could be top 2. back on the submarine. Okay, never mind. Sentinels cope. I'm not sure if you guys have been watching any Sen at all, but okay, not selling Sen either.
Sorry, I'm
C9
getting
with the tier 2 players.
No.
I'm getting this.
C9 with the tier 2 players.
Yeah, C9 with the tier 2 players might be a team that can punch. But I think there's like, to me, it looks like G200 Thieves and then 4 punches.
Okay, Group Alpha then, because I guess we're on the same page. Are there also is it NRG 11 4 punchers or
No.
I mean MIBR and Furia are both teams that have qualified to things in the past.
I think this
and
is
have now
actually.
too.
I think Group Alpha looks scary to me because it looks like 4 teams that could be good. I guess I have slightly less faith in Furia just because they've struggled after the meta change. So I don't know if they're going to be quite on the same level, but I think MIBR are going to have a bounce back, or at least they're going to be like trying to have a bounce back. And then the thing with MIBR is as well, they are a rampant failure of a team so far. They've gone 0-5 in qualification games, but they've also made 5 qualification games. Like they are good enough to be able to get to a point where they're going to be competing for those top 2 slots. Even if they don't get them, or if they fail, or if they like fail to make it to champs, like they could have a disastrous year and still be in like 7 qualification games all year, which is actually pretty impressive on a domestic level. It's just that the team was built to do way more.
Yeah. Who's leading in the points? I suppose London will make a big difference. in that.
I
assume
was just
G2.
looking this up.
It's Furia and Lev. I think Furia are right ahead of Lev by a little bit, by
Surely
maybe
G2
2 points.
Surely
Oh, I
G2
mean,
are in the top
past
2.
G2 and NRG. My bad. I thought you meant like looking out into the 3rd place spot.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's
G2 are
G2
definitely going to win. Actually, so yeah, G2's champs point doesn't matter because they're obviously going to win the stage. So
Yeah,
it's basically
NRG
whoever's
are a
third.
shoe-in as well. And then
Yeah.
3rd will be a fight between Furia, Leviathan right now. Everybody else, there's a bit of a gap afterwards, I believe, from what we saw.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, banger groups. So Josh said he likes Alpha a bit more. TMV, Alpha, Omega.
Alpha's going to be full of some stomps, I think, unfortunately. So give me Omega. Give me the Chaos group.
Yeah,
Upper
I
just
think,
needs to calm down.
I think Omega is also the wave. I think Omega just has a few closer games. I feel like the addition of NVEG just makes Alpha a little bit too resident sleeper at times in some of the matchups, but Omega just seems like it's banger all the time. But
Yeah.
cool. We can come back to camps. Yeah.
I mean, I think we should not go on VLR and not trust anything they have to say. Audio listeners may want to go back and have a look at the what on earth was going on there for the last couple of minutes. I think that does it for us, though, doesn't it? I'm gonna go and
think
check out
so.
some of those threads. There was a
I'm not, because I don't want to do that.
there was a leak there that I'm interested in.
I didn't even get to see what it was. That is the episode. If you want, comment down below. These guys are not going to read it.
No,
might,
I
but
refuse
leave
to
a
read it on
comment.
principle. Only Shyo can read it. So let Shyo know what you think.
Yeah, let me know what you think about the social media debate. Let me know if you think aspas, what's going on there. Let me know what you think about the episode. If you're audio listening, shout out to you as well. Buy the Raycons. Support all of us. Hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time. If we're alive.
If anyone's watching Valorant.